that is gonna not show that up on there, you know?
Oh, we're live.
king and his men stole the queen from her bed.
Touchdown!
Bound her in her bone.
Jones takes it
The seas be ours, and by the powers where we will roam.
What is good, Raider Nation? Welcome back to yet another episode of our Raiders Wednesday Night Live show. I'm joined by my friends Dustin, Ray, and Sergio. Say what's up, everybody.
Salute. That's good.
Salute Raider Nation. Appreciate all of you. Salute to the chat. Salute to the mods. Salute to everybody here on the panel. Appreciate all of you showing up all the time.
Facts. As always, salute to the members of this panel for showing up. Salute to the mods in the chat for holding it down. Wouldn't be able to do the show without you guys, as always. And last but not least, thank you to our viewers for watching and commenting along with us as we begin this broadcast. We got another great one for you guys, as always. Just a quick reminder before we do get started. In just a couple quick minutes, couple short minutes, our YouTube chatbot, which is called the Nightbot, will be posting various links related to us here at DSR in the comments section. So if you guys wouldn't mind, at your earliest convenience, just checking out the comments section in about 10 minutes or so for the Nightbot to post various links related to us in the comments section. Just if you could just follow those links, just tap in with us on all of our platforms. That would be greatly appreciated, and we do thank you guys in advance for that. Obviously, first and foremost, if you guys haven't already, if you're on YouTube, if you wouldn't mind, subscribe to the channel, hitting the notification bell, like as many videos as possible, and commenting on as many videos as possible on our Death Star Report YouTube channel. That'd be greatly appreciated. The other important link that we'd like for you guys to keep an eye out for is the link to our DSR Discord server. So if you guys haven't already, if you wouldn't mind, when the Nightbot does post that link, following that link and joining us there at the Discord server, that would be greatly appreciated. For those of you that don't know, it's a tremendous community. We have a whole bunch of stuff going on in there. It's a great way to bond with a whole bunch of people, not only over all things Raiders, but over a wide variety of topics. We have a Raiders talk. We talk about all things Raiders. We also have a general chat. We talk about life in general. We talk about the NFL at large. We have fantasy leagues, both NFL and NBA. Speaking of which, we're just now starting up our NFL fantasy league. So if you guys are looking to join a league, feel free to hop in and join one of those in the Discord as well. It's a $0 buy-in and $25 reward to anyone who wins the league. So 0% risk and 100% benefit goes to you guys if you win the league. We also have promotional events in there like free giveaways. We have free movie nights, which is a great way to just, especially on a weekend night, hop in, we all hop in the Discord and we watch a great movie together. That's another great way to bond. We have channels dedicated to Raiders content creators on platforms like YouTube, Instagram, and Twitter. And we also even have channels dedicated to sports updates around various leagues. So you guys can up-to-the-minute updates on various sports leagues. So like I said, if you could keep an extra eye out for the link to our DSR Discord server that the Nightbot will be posting in just a couple short minutes. That would be greatly appreciated, especially if you guys do follow that link and join us there at the Discord server. We'd love to have you guys. Like I said, it's a tremendous community. And we do thank you in advance for tapping in with us there. And, the Nightbot will be posting all these links multiple times throughout the duration of this broadcast. So you guys will have multiple opportunities to check out those links. So like I said, just keep an eye out for the Nightbot to post all those links. And we do thank you in advance for that. So with all that out of the way, and without further ado, let's begin our show with our first topic. So obviously, the big thing that the Las Vegas Raiders are involved with right now is a joint practice with the Los Angeles Rams, which they took part in today. There's also some very positive news in the way of injury updates, especially when it comes to rookie edge rusher and first round draft pick for the Raiders, Tyree Wilson, as well as the return to practice of Devontae Adams. So obviously, we have two guys who project to be very impactful for this team on their respective sides of the ball. As Raiders fans, we're loving that news. We loved hearing that today when the news broke. So obviously, we're going to get into that. We're getting to various things as far as news that hit Raider Nation today. But to start off our show, why don't we just talk about take a more general approach to what happened today as far as the joint practice with the Rams. Why don't we just go around the panel and talk about our feelings as far as any pieces of news within coming out of joint practices? Coming out of joint practice that we heard. Anything that we maybe like to see, not only for the rest of the remainder of joint practice with the Rams, but maybe even the preseason game against the Rams this weekend. What do you guys think? Ray, do you want to start us off?
Yeah, sure. So, as of what I've seen
Salute,
from
Ben.
practice, salute.
Ozzy,
Seeing what I saw from practice, like
John.
I heard for what I've seen, I mean, like they said that Tay had a really good day today, and I heard that, or everyone was like really aggressive. I'll say everyone was really aggressive. They were doing their part, and then obviously, I think everyone heard between Crosby and Akers what happened, their little scuffle. But I think what I've seen though is just great football, and obviously it's good to see Tari Wilson out there as well. So yeah, that's good to see.
Yeah, I mean, exactly. Yeah, as I said, obviously to have a guy like Devontae Adams, whose play and reputation speaks for himself, really. It's even more encouraging to hear that he had such a good day, especially coming off of an injury that, for the most part, we weren't worried about. But obviously, hearing something like that, given what he means to this team and to this offense in particular, it was good to hear that he had an incredible rebound from today. So obviously,
He was mostly
great to have that big guy.
effective. Sorry to cut you off, Jeff. I was gonna say
No, go ahead.
they said that today he's specified mostly that he was doing great in man coverage. He scored back-to-back touchdowns, and overall, like he was just doing really good. Like how you said, like we weren't worried about his injury because we knew that it wasn't too much of a biggie, and that even if it was, we know he'd be ready by week one and still dogging everybody in the league. So I wasn't too worried. But just hearing off today, I feel like he's back to 100%, and we're back to where we were.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, obviously, as we all know, he's almost certainly not going to see a down of football when it comes to the preseason game this weekend. So, obviously, this is an opportunity for Devontae to rehab that injury, or at least sort of, I guess, load manage or maybe take it easy. If it is still affecting him in any way, hopefully that's not the case. But like you said, Ray, I mean, it was really encouraging to hear that he did so well. If I'm not mistaken, I remember in particular that his connections with Jimmy G were really on target today. So once again, that's a sort of chemistry that we really want to see build up, leading up into the regular season. Because obviously that's going to be probably the focal point of this offense throughout the 2023 season. Sergio, is there anything you wanted to add?
I mean, yeah, I'm really glad for how today went, especially hearing the news that basically everyone is coming together healthy this week. Like with Adams coming back, Wilson's now officially back. Michael Mayer, they say he should be back about next week. Hopefully, we get to see Wilson in preseason. I feel like he won't be. If he is at the preseason game for the Rams, he'll either mostly be on the sideline or he'll play like at most like half a quarter. of snaps, just because I feel like they're still going to want to be a little bit cautious with Wilson. It was kind of up and down today, it's on defense specifically, because like they were saying like how the only QB that was like doing well for the Rams was just Stafford. Like he was kind of like tearing our secondary apart a little bit, but I feel like that was expected since like he's like a big veteran QB, very intelligent QB, so he should probably know like when and where compared to the other QBs that they faced this offseason, like Purdy, Lance, Darnold, all the other guys. When it comes to that Max Crosby news, Akers is a sissy. Like he was butthurt at whatever happened, because that dude, he even straight up took it to Twitter and is straight up just arguing with everyone about it now. I guess he's just mad that he got kicked out of practice and Max didn't or something. But yeah, anything other than that, with the defense, I'm guessing this is like more of a reality check for them since the news with Stafford cooking up our defense a little bit, which I think is good a little bit considering like none of the big names that we have on our secondary got burnt or anything. It's mostly just our depth pieces and stuff. Defensive line though was doing really well. I guess they said like they were doing well on 1v1s. Our offensive line were doing really well on 1v1s. So far, our trenches are still they're still performing as advertised. That's all I have to say right now. But yeah.
I mean, obviously, as far as the scuffle, if you will, that Max Crosby apparently got into with Rams running back Cam Akers. To me, that's pretty, run of the mill. It's pretty standard when it comes to, especially, training camp. This point in the season. Obviously it's hot, so guys, I'm sure are a little bit more on edge than they might be in the colder months of the season. And just because it's training camp, you're trying to sort of gear up the aggressiveness to lead up to week one form. A lot of guys, they'll be extra aggressive, especially if it's in a practice setting, and some guy, maybe is a little too aggressive in your opinion. You might retaliate in a violent way. So, a lot of that stuff, as we've heard, throughout training camp, even this year. I mean, obviously there was that business with Travis Kelce and I believe a defensive back, on the Chiefs a little while, a couple weeks ago in training camp. I don't know if you guys have seen Hard Knocks, any of the episodes of this season yet, but there have been plenty of examples of, guys even on the same team on the Jets going at it. So that's as long as nobody got hurt, Max Crosby can have his opinion on it. Cam Akers can have his opinion on it. But, at the end of the day, cooler heads prevail. And that's, obviously, like I said, the lack of injury is the most important part. But also to your point about, the play of the team as a whole, and I'm sure you guys heard this as well. Overall, as a team, the Raiders did struggle. Whereas, the week before in their joint practice against the 49ers, there was a lot of interceptions that our secondary was able to have. They looked a lot more dominant in that sense. But apparently this was not the case today. There was only one interception, I believe, off of a deflected pass from Stetson Bennett by Sam Webb, who was the interceptor. But apparently once Matt Stafford came in, he really carved up the Raiders secondary. So especially on defense, need to clean that up, need to, not be as porous, as we've seen them in previous years, which has obviously been a huge issue. And then on offense, of course, apparently they weren't able to execute, especially when it came to touchdowns. So, you could probably just, pin this, just sort of view this as a bad week of practice, but
hold on. How did we not get the touchdowns if Devontae Adams got 2 touchdowns over the top? Fucking Dorsett has 1 for 70 yards, and Sear has 1 for a catch. How are they not getting the touchdowns?
Well, I mean,
for this, and then the other statement, you guys, I've heard you guys say this, emphasized it twice now about Stafford carving up our team. It said in the exact thing it said was carving up outside corners is what it said. So he wasn't like he's out there just carving up the defense in the inside, middle linebackers, safeties. It stated in the corners that he was carving up the outside, emphasize in corners. And again, if people were looking at the roster, most of our starters weren't even playing in today because they're probably going to be playing in this weekend's game to begin with.
Well, yeah, that's what I said. I said that it was basically our depth pieces.
Yeah, because there's a lot of players, the dude like Hobbs, all these dudes, they weren't even in playing today. They were all there present. They just didn't play in the practice. And then, like I said, there were multiple. There's a list of like fucking 10 of them. So if he's carving up our backups, good for him.
Right. Yeah. So obviously, you'd like to hear better from or better things from our depth pieces, but obviously, like you said, those guys are probably not going to be seeing the field a lot, and obviously, throughout the rest of the preseason and training camp, they're going to be on the fence as far as whether they're going to get released or not. But Dustin, did you have any thoughts on the joint practice? What you heard coming out of it, or maybe?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I think, like I said, for coming out of the Niner game, coming in here after travel and mandatory day off, I mean, you're sitting there saying like, for the team as a whole, I mean, for the depth and so on, they're going to get beat up by Matthew Stafford. I mean, he's a fucking starting QB in the league. So, but to sit and be like he was beating up Peters and fucking.
Did we lose him?
Dustin,
you with us?
I think he lagged.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Sorry. Bear with us, guys.
That happens.
Minor technical difficulties.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, okay, I guess we'll continue it. I guess I'll try to help. It's basically like, I mean, it's kind of like what I said earlier. Like, basically, it's kind of like when you compare it, like Stafford against like the depth pieces. Like, obviously, Stafford is gonna win more than lose some because he's been in the league for over like what 13 years, basically like almost 15 years. So like the dude obviously has the intelligence enough to just get through practices. Like it's easy and nothing, especially since he's going against outside corners who are like depth pieces. Obviously, like it wasn't our starters. Like Nate Hobbs wasn't out there, Marcus Peters wasn't out there. Brandon Faison was still isn't out there. David Long returned. Kind of seemed like he had an up and down day at practice too, basically.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, but that was weirdly. Oh,
Is he back? Nope. Maybe. Oh, he's back.
Yeah, I just think, Rick, and like I was saying, is in the camp for our dudes to come out and be as consistent as they are being in the depth, because like one-on-ones, dude, all of our starters are killing it, dude. Like they can't stop Max. They can't fucking get a hold of Butler. They can't get a hold of a lot of people down in our interior line. Like a lot of the players that are starters that are playing in the 1-on-1, 7-on-7s, 11-on-11s are playing really decently for the second week in a row. Backup players in depth, I mean, I can't speak for that. So, outside of it, like I said, I mean, there's still a lot of players that are popping up. It went back and forth on both sides. I mean, I don't know. Like I said, I'm not there to see the game physically, so I don't know.
Right. I mean, it's not, just because, they might not have had the greatest practice or maybe a practice as well as they might have had against the 49ers doesn't mean that there aren't positive takeaways, even from the starters. Like, for example, apparently, Jimmy G apparently connected with Philip Dorsett on a 70-yard touchdown. and as we said before, obviously Devontae Adams, he caught a couple balls. He's obviously looking pretty good, especially coming off that injury. So there definitely are some good takeaways. And also apparently, because apparently Max Crosby's scuffle with Cam Akers, at least according to Max, was at least partly practical in the sense that he felt as though the defense, his defense was lacking energy, so he decided to sort of, inflate them with energy by having a sort of fight like that. So, hopefully he can take that kind of energy into practice tomorrow, into the preseason, especially for guys that are going to play in that preseason game. And another thing to point out, I would say, is as far as the defense, and this is a really this is part of the growing pains, or I guess the learning curve when it comes to the off season and learning how to play together. Apparently the Rams play at a faster pace than the 49ers do. So maybe, I guess, the regression even from the depth pieces that we heard about today could be due to the fact that, they weren't used to that pace. But they're obviously going to have to get used to that pace, especially if the guys that played today are going to make the team. So,
I mean, dude, if our team is putting up 35 fucking points on them in practice, where's their defense playing so quick at? You know what I mean?
The offense, I meant.
Oh, I was going to be like, yeah, there's no fucking way that's true, man. Like, their defense ain't playing better than our offense, that's for sure. If our ones are out playing and they're playing on the field, they're scoring all over the place nonstop. And they've made that clear that it's not just one dude, it's all dudes scoring out there and playing well. So, and in the defense, still, even with the pressure of getting sacks off in there, which they can't get technically a real sack in there, but the coverage and so on, like I said, if you're playing against the twos and you're playing against, what's his name? Fucking dude from Georgia, the quarterback, fucking
Stetson Bennett.
Stetson Bennett, fucking, and you're shutting him down and he's not doing jack shit against your twos, just like it should be. And then they want to go throw in fucking, why am I blanking all these motherfucking dudes? Matthew Stafford. If they throw in Matthew Stafford and then he goes out and carves up on the twos and threes, well, he's expected to. He's a motherfucking starting quarterback, dude. Like, that's the whole thing I'm trying to say. When we played against Bennett, he couldn't do shit. When they put in Stafford and they had to play against the twos, of course he's going to beat them, dude. So sit there. It would just be picking on players when they were outplayed on most of the people, even on that part. Like David Long hasn't even been playing the whole time, and then now he comes back in, starts playing, and then we're comparing like our defense is getting beat because he's in at the corner. Like, no. Dudes that are fucking trash are getting beat. Dudes that are not in the same fucking maybe thirds and so on out there. Like they've said, all the main key pieces that's come in here, from Jenkins being into the line, Butler, fucking Epps, pretty much all their core pieces. Everybody has spoke on it numerous times that they're solid as shit out there. So again, I would most definitely make sure when people are reading people's articles that they're knowing the players that they're emphasizing those conversations on, and then not all people's conversations are valid, dude. I mean, they were sitting here posting shit articles out here just in the training camp when we were in Henderson, stating Jimmy was doing all this bullshit, and then people that were there at the game or at the practice were saying bullshit. So I've always said people are going to put shit in there that's going to fit narratives and so on in there. But like I said, from what I know and people that are around it, the starting players are playing good football, period. It's just depth pieces in the secondary of our defense that is having issues. And then that's something else I was going to bring up, is that obviously they're having issues in certain sections because they're trying tryouts for players, dude, and they're bringing in like 4, 5, 6 dudes at a time right now. D tackles, edge rushers, corners, they're bringing in all kinds of people. So obviously they must not feel like they're solidified at any means with everybody up up there. And not only that, it just shows to me that if they can find somebody here that's better in depth, no matter what the name is on our board in depth, they're going to knock that motherfucker off there and bring in somebody else that solidifies the team as a whole. Salute, Nutty.
Yeah, salute to everyone coming in just now.
Yeah, and that's all I think is like I said, if we're sitting here looking at the twos and Matthews over here carving them up, and we can see like who's weak and who's not doing what, then it'll be easier for us to be able to identify it and then go get the players. And then, like I said, I think that's exactly what they're doing, because they're looking at DTs and basically edge rushers right now. So then the question to me is like, what edge rusher are they trying to cancel out that was in the Niner game? You know what I mean? So that's the only thing I'm wondering is who is the odd man out in there. So because they interviewed what, 1, 2, 3, 4. So 4 edge rushers. So obviously somebody ain't doing their job over there. So.
Right. So yeah, I mean, obviously, there's some definite personnel things to figure out. As you mentioned, Dustin, I mean, because of things like off days and whatnot, the Raiders were not playing with a completely full deck of cards. Like, for example, Dylan Parham, as far as the offensive line is concerned, as you were talking about, he was not apparently at practice today, if I'm not mistaken. As I think Sergio mentioned,
well, they're there, so people got to remember we're in LA right now, so our people are there. They're just not practicing.
Well, right. I mean, I guess you can sort of learn from the sideline, but I just meant like as far as what we're hearing about the performance of practice. If you're not there on the field, obviously, especially if you're a guy like Dylan Parham, obviously one of the core pieces of their own line. That's going to make a difference, right? So
yeah, and I heard the reason with him is just still concussion protocol is the reason.
Yeah, they put him in. They put him in a concussion protocol.
Yeah.
Yeah, so obviously, that's it's good that happened when it did, if it was going to happen, because obviously, once again, as a guy whose position is pretty solidified at this point, doesn't need to play in the preseason, doesn't really need to compete for his job per se. So, and he's obviously under contract. So, obviously he has the time between now and even, week 1 of the regular season to rehab as much as possible. So, and obviously the concussion, as we know, is not doesn't take the longest amount of time and usually to heal. So, that's obviously not any cause for alarm so far.
I just bring up he got Jonathan Abrams? Is that what he got? Jonathan Abrams in that game, hit by his own player. Fucking, that's what I'm gonna start calling that. I'm gonna start calling that shit when it happens. I'm gonna be like, oh, we got Jonathan Abrams. Yeah, I think our own player cracked into him on accident.
Yeah. I mean, and obviously, of course, we don't wish concussions on anyone. So,
what's up, Pizzle?
Wish him a speedy recovery. Yeah, salute to everyone just coming in now. But also in the way of positive takeaways from today's practice. Apparently, also Hunter Renfrow was doing some one-on-one drills against the Rams DBs, and from what I heard, looked good. So, I think that's a really good sign as well. Especially, along the same vein of, getting guys back from injury that are obviously supposed to have a big impact on this team. So obviously, with Tyree Wilson, just being activated from injury, Devontae Adams coming back from now, Hunter Renfrow, who we've also been told, along with Michael Mayer, is sort of kind of being eased back into play, which is good to hear as well, because obviously, as a guy who we know can be a big part of this offense in Hunter Renfrow, as well as Michael Mayer, almost certainly as well. We'd love to, see those guys back on the field and healthy as soon as possible.
Yeah, the only thing, the thing that I keep thinking about is like when you're looking at our team over the practices and the one game so far, is like the players that are going to be like starting players. They're winning their reps, they're winning their battles, they're winning in camp, dude. Like they just haven't got to play on the field in preseason yet together. You know what I mean? Like a lot of other teams are starting them early, maybe because of shit that's happened in the past, you know. And to me, I've always said I would want to be started as sooner the better, you know, so you can start getting acclimated for the season. So I think the only tall tale, like, because look how many people are talking to Aiden O'Connell now, dude. How poised he is, how he doesn't break under pressure, how he's like got ice in his veins, dude. Like literally doesn't choke, commands leadership inside the huddle. Even when people ain't paying attention, he'll demand their attention. Just like people are already speaking up that this young ass kid already a leader in one fucking game. And I get it. People are like, it's one game, it's this and that. It's not. See, the thing that people are miscounting in the conversation of that one game is that people are fucking not. They're trying to bypass their own words where they were saying that, oh, if Josh is to go get a quarterback, let alone in the first round, but in the fourth round, and then indicate that that he had to have a whole entire fucking year underneath him before he could even do anything inside the league. These guys went out, drafted. Ziegler went out. Graham, Josh, all went out, dude. They had a great draft, dude. The Senior Bowl, dude, was a great fucking place to go out there and scout players even more, dude. And damn near every one of their players are hitting on high caliber levels.
People,
dude.
Many people are projecting Jacorian Bennett to be our steal of the draft, considering how, especially during the preseason game, he was only targeted once, I think.
Yeah, dude, and there's going to be multiple, dude. It can be Jacorian Bennett. It can be Bernie. It can be fucking Mayer. It can be Tucker. I mean, it can be multiple, dude. It can be Nesta in the 7th round. It can be Byron, dude. Like, that's the whole entire thing that all these fucking hater fans are trying to just straight bypass all the bullshit that they all talked in the draft. Oh, these guys don't know what they're doing. These ain't good picks. These guys, they broke down the whole Raiders. They're destroying the team. They don't know. Like, that's all fucking everybody kept saying. Dark Ages, not going to do shit. In not even 6 months, dude. Not even in 6 months. We've got dudes playing at higher levels than they've played in fucking 10 and 15 years easily. I've said in that one game of the preseason game, I've said this numerous times since that game on numerous lives that have been on, that team as a whole played some of the best football it's played, period. As a whole entire team, dude, that they played pretty much damn lights out. If fucking Shelley don't knock that ball over there to his fucking dude and they don't score in there and just get a fucking field goal, that game is fucking locked, bro. Like, outside of that...
Many analysts were bringing up how that was technically the best preseason game for the Raiders since like 20 years.
Yeah, the 70s. And like I say, I think frickin' when you're trying to look at your whole team as a base, dude, and then people are sitting there saying like, oh, Josh doesn't take responsibility. He neglects the team. He's an offense coordinator. He's trying not to be a head coach. Look, all the things that everybody said that he wasn't doing, he's doing. And he's doing them at a very good level, dude. That defense playing better ball than it's played, period under anybody yet so far, just in this time. I've said, go back and go look at the preseason last year. The preseason last year, our players weren't even playing nothing like this. They weren't playing nothing like this in rhythm, sync, nothing like it. Then you get sitting over here, people are like just bypassing this one thing. Like, so look, this is why I just think people are crazy about the whole Josh McDaniels take and how they look at him and view him. I think it's the stupidest shit. I think some of them are the dumbest motherfuckers even talking about it. I just wouldn't even talk about it because here's something that I don't even know, like, people stated numerous times. I mean, we got video after video, comment after comment of people saying, one, Josh is not going to be a proven head coach because he hasn't even had the chance, really. He's only had 2-3 years, so of course he's not going to be a proven head coach. People have indicated that he should relinquish the play calling, that he can't develop quarterbacks, all kinds of fucking crazy takes, dude, that people have. Josh McDaniels has had 2 of the top quarterbacks in preseason over the last 10 years. 2 of them coming in back almost to back-to-back seasons, one with Mac Jones and one with motherfucking Aiden O'Connell. Under Mac Jones, with Josh, Mac Jones as a rookie in the preseason held the QB rating record at a 92.2% rating, dude. Then fast forward a year later to go get fucking Aiden out of here, bring him in, and guess who the fuck holds the record now? Aiden holds it at a 92.3. All these people indicating like they ain't gonna learn the system, they got to sit for a year, and so on like this. I've said indication states that if you want your player to have success, you would put them for a year behind so they can learn the system. But the way that these motherfuckers are smart and how savvy they are, it didn't take this fool but maybe a few fucking months the concept of basically whatever system he got taught. Now, am I saying, like, does he know Josh's playbook 100%? No, it probably doesn't. He probably got like 30, 40% of it. But the thing is the 30 or 40% that he got, he fucking knows. And that matters. That shit matters. And then it's like, this is why I'm saying I would rather see Jimmy in the preseason before we get to the regular season so we know who the fucking better quarterback is. Like, are we fucking rolling with Aiden or are we rolling with Jimmy? Like, if Jimmy can't keep up in preseason, what makes you think he's going to keep up in the regular season? And that shit matters. And I don't want to get to week 1 and try to find that shit out. That's an automatic loss right there when you do that shit, dude. Like, these are the games where I've said, like, I feel, in my opinion, that you would figure out these problems is right here, right now, when there's nothing on the fucking line. You know what I mean? Like, you can just determine who the fuck is better. That's what's on the line. So for me, like I said, dude, I just think a lot of people are sleeping on what they're doing, who they're bringing, their whole entire team. I've said you can pretty much lock in their players already, dude. I mean, you can look at it. It's going to be Devontae, Renfro, Jacoby. It's going to be Carter, and it's going to probably be fucking Keelan, or Tucker, and then Cole, dude, because I think Cole is going to be the add just because he knows the system. He's already playing decently well in it this year. So that's why I say it's like you could already solidify your players already. So, again, like I said, man, I think Aiden, dude, I just want to see Aiden play against fucking Jimmy here in the preseason so we can figure out who the fucking better dude is. Like, I'd rather roll with the AOC from the just saying. Same. I've said it, dude. I've said it since we drafted his ass, dude. I'd roll with that fucking guy straight up, dude. And I get it. Like, he played one game, dude, but it doesn't matter. Like, both of these teams that we're going to be scrimmaging here are both in the same NFC West, dude. They're both the defense, offense. They're ran through the same type of shit. These two teams have been doing it for years. The same thing with Dallas over here. It's like Dallas game is a joke, dude, because I don't think in preseason I've said, like, I think that team's falsified massively, dude. They're in a weak-ass division, dude. Even when they get to the playoffs, they go home that fucking fast.
Not only that, but when you look at their joint practices, their own media has been making fun of Dak Prescott because he said before preseason started that before training camp started that he's like going to throw no more than 10 interceptions, and he's now been getting into fights with his secondary because the secondary's been making fun of him, picking him off every single point. Even today, he threw, I think he threw like a 20-yard pass to the rookie, the 5'5" rookie in double coverage. And many people are questioning, like, how do you throw a pass to a 5'5" rookie in double coverage? Like, at this point, like, now many people are getting very mad at Dak Prescott.
Yeah, and the thing, like, with our team that I'm looking at is like, we're over here acting like Jimmy's won fucking 10 Super Bowls. We're acting like he's like the GOAT in football right here, just coming off an injury. So we got to baby a lot of things. Salute, Raph. Appreciate you stopping by, bro. I think like the thing, how I feel is like Jimmy hasn't even played football since November. And even if he's sitting over here in scrimmage, you still can't touch him, can't hit him. So his president in the pocket, at any given point, he can just be like, whoa, don't hit me. You know what I mean? Like, that's all I'm saying. Like, Aiden standing in the pocket the way he did in a few of those plays where he's looking down the fucking field, he sees this fucking dude coming for him off of the edge over here, and all he does is just step one step to the right, fucking Toros this motherfucker, and sends a 40-yard bomb downfield. Like, is Jimmy gonna be able to do that shit? Like, is Jimmy gonna do that, or is Jimmy gonna cake down and fucking fall
I
down?
remember,
You know, like that
one
shit
play
matters a lot,
that
dude.
O'Connell did that a defender tried to tackle him, but O'Connell kind of just shoved him off, and
He
the
ducked
defender,
underneath him and came back up, and it threw him right off that
the
fool,
defender
dude.
was
Like,
very confused when that happened.
yeah. Yep, I ain't gonna lie, because Aiden, dude, I was thinking about this the whole time when I was looking at Aiden in the game, and I've rewatched the game numerous times, but Aiden's tall motherfucker, bro. Like, when he stands there and looks up over that deal, like, you can see, like, he's tall, man. Like, he has the vision over people, so I think, like, he already has the advantage of just his height, you know what I mean? And you don't really think it would be noticed that much, but it most definitely is. Every time I look at him, dude, I'm like, he's taller than Carr, man. What was Carr, 6'2"?
Yeah, I think O'Connell is 6'4".
He's like 6'3", 6'4". Yeah, he's not a little motherfucker, you know. That's all I say. I mean, I would just like to see our team buckle down. Like in this Rams game, I'd love to see Jimmy go out there and start one series at least. I mean, we had like 50% of the NFL start their fucking starters, dude, and we're talking about straight up Super Bowl fucking teams. You know what I mean? Like, I don't understand how they have the richest contracts in all football. They're some of the most highest paid fucking quarterbacks and wide receiver tandems. They can play, but we got a $23 million quarterback over here, and we got bubble wrap around this motherfucker. Like, oh, no. You know, like, I don't like that shit. I don't like that shit. Why is it okay for the Bills and fucking every team? Why is it okay for every fucking team start their starters, but for whatever reason, we're over here? And you know what's even more funny is Gruden is over in the Saints helping build that team, and he started their starters the first fucking week, and he'd been against it for years, dude. Like, that's all I'm saying. Obviously, you learn from your mistakes. I don't know if this is going to be like, I know why we're doing it for Jimmy. Would we do it for anybody else if it wasn't Jimmy is all I'm asking. And then you're rolling into the season with the pretty much unknown what he's going to do behind the line and pressure, dude. I get that he's played for the teams. I get that he's been here for a long time. But there's a huge difference when you got a young kid that's as accurate as he is. I mean, let's be real, dude. If Trey catches both of those balls, dude, he would have been 17 of 18, plus the yards of whatever fucking Tucker was able to pick up on them two passes. So his accuracy is dead ass accurate, dude. Like, he's got beautiful balls, dude. Like, literally, like, you know, nutsack. But you know, outside of it, like I said, outside of it, he's got really good accuracy, really good lead, dude. Really good. I mean, he leads. Like, he can lead a player anticipating like that, dude. Like the play out that was in the middle of the field, dude, where dude went out and then came back in. He already threw the fucking ball, dude. Like, he already knew dude was gonna be over there, and then he just dots him, bro. Just bop, dude. Like, even the Tucker play, right? Look at the Tucker play, bro. Over the top of the fucking head, which is right here, probably one of the hardest motherfucking throws to play or put in a place, and he just dots it right on the dude. Like, he has got mad ass accuracy, dude. And like I said, when dudes are in a game, adrenaline sets in, a lot of shit are going on. He said, I ain't even gonna say pause. So he said, fucking, I knew he was gonna say it. But I just say, like, when you're looking at him in the way that he did in that first game right there, we can go back to the Stenham game, even in the when he was in the Niner game over there. Stenham was always inside, having to take off. He was always breaking down the fucking play and then trying to run with it. Aiden never did one time. Aiden never did one fucking time, dude. Like, he made sure every single play from the pocket counted, dude. Like, he fucking is good, man. Like, he's really good. And if he develops or not, dude, like I said, some people's develop can be in a fucking year, and some can be in a month, and some can be in 5 years, and some will never happen. Like, develop comes on the individual, you know what I mean? And salute to everybody coming in right now. Salute Omar, everybody. I just say, like, people develop at their own pace, dude, and to sit and control somebody, to sit and say that if he's ready to go now and you want him to wait for a year, it could hinder him, dude. It's maybe not going to better him, dude. Like, and again, it's only like, this is the thing I keep trying to say to everybody. if we didn't have Jimmy and we had another quarterback back there and he was like Derek fucking Carr's name to begin with, we're not probably going to have the conversation that we keep having about Aiden starting, because we know with Derek, Aiden's ass ain't fucking starting most likely. The motherfucker's only been hurt twice, 3 times in fucking 9 years. So we already know Aiden's not. The thing is, when we talk about Jimmy and Tex, guess what? It ain't about if he's going to start this fucking year. It's what week is he going to start this year. That's the fucking conversation you're having. It's not, is it in week fucking 1? Is it in week 10? Is it in week 15? Like, what week are you starting Aiden in, dude? And that's my biggest thing is it may not even be Jimmy's foot. Might be his pussy. Might be his ribs. Might be fucking anything. Like, it can be anything on the fucking guy. He can get blown on too much, you know? He's like he's the AD of fucking football, like straight up fucking. So that's all I'm saying is I just think some people have it and Aiden's got it, man. Like Aiden's got it. He said, let's be real AOC 4 is not ready, bro. How would you know? Put him in there and let him have Devontae and them, and then we'll have that conversation. Like to sit and say that he had a 92.3 QBR rating, dude, at the end of the fucking game, dotted 15 of 18, would have been 17 of 18, touchdown, everything. Like, I don't know, man. Go give him the starters, and then we can have that same conversation. You got to remember, he did this with dudes like Wilkerson and fucking Fotheringham, dude, and fucking, he was doing this with, like I say, he was doing what Carr's done for the last few years, taking no-name ass motherfuckers, and they were popping up like motherfucking superstars over here. So
O'Connell and Dalton Wagner were the highest rated players according to PFF.
I got a topic on Dalton here in a while because that dude's gonna be something else. But I've said, yeah, I think he's gonna be a lot better than people even realize to even begin with. Would have jumped all over that. They see and know what we don't. This regime would have jumped all over that. What does he mean?
This regime would have jumped all over that. They see. Oh, excuse me. This regime would have jumped all over that. Period. They see and know what we don't.
Yeah, but what does he mean by that conversation?
I don't know what he means by.
I think he means that if O'Connell's so good, they would have gotten rid of Jimmy G by now.
Yeah, but that's where I think people are misconceived, dude. Why would you get rid of Jimmy if he's $23 million under the books and you can get rid of him next year at $5 million or $7 million? Like, that's what people aren't understanding is that when people put those contexts into conversation, right? They're implying like you're in Madden and you can just go over and trade him to some other team or just cut him. If you cut Jimmy out this year, outside of no injury of what is in the foot or any other deal, we're going to eat like $15 or $20 million. Like, it's a pretty substantial amount of dead cap money that we're going to hit. So you're not just going to go over and cut him. You wouldn't even do that. What would be ideal is to see where Aiden is by game 3. If Aiden plays with the start, you got to remember, you have a bye week between 3 and the first week of the season. So if you're in week 3 and Aiden comes out, plays with the starters, and goes right downfield and scores a touchdown on starters, guess who might be getting fucking traded? Not cut. Fucking Jimmy's ass might be getting put back up on the fucking board and be looking at some other motherfucking team, because if Jimmy's starting and he got hurt, Hoyer's going to back him up. What's the difference if it's Aiden starting and Hoyer backing him up, dude? Like, that's the whole entire thing is like, they're not going to cut Jimmy. Like, you're not going to cut Jimmy. Like, there's no way. It's too much, way too much penalty to cut him. You're going to most definitely look to trade him, dude. Just like I was going to say here in a topic we'll have later about fucking Luminor too. So I get that people keep solidifying people to our roster and people keep claiming like, oh, this guy has a contract and they're not blessing. In the history of the Raiders and Patriots, in both franchises, regardless of where a player's been within the contract or not, if they didn't fit, they'll move right on from the fucking guy. And it doesn't matter if they got fucking 30 million, 40 million up on the board or not. That's just how they'll fucking do it. So all I'm saying at the end of the day, we're solidifying a guy that, one, hasn't played since November of last year, dude. He's not really even touchdown scoring type guy. He's based off of game management type players. Hasn't had any type of continuity within the team until just about, a week or two ago. So there's a lot of things that are inside there. A lot of people have even stated, is his short to mid accuracy and his game playing well? Yes, but his deep ball is way the fuck off. He hasn't been hitting on people. That shit matters if you're trying to throw 20 yards downfield in an open play where Devontae beat out his fucking deal and he got to throw it right over and he can't even get it to him. Aiden O'Connell is dotting it on motherfucker, so that's all I'm saying. And do I think Aiden's going to start? No. I'm not saying that he is going to start. What I'm saying is that there's the possibility, and if people don't accept it, that's your fucking problem, not mine, So I never said that he would just go out there and start. Jimmy is going to have to prove that he's not going to be able to start. Like, that's going to be 100%. And I've said this even if people just go back to my, back to our lives just 2 months ago. I said these exact words that I got a fucking report from somebody that's really close over in that motherfucker. And they said that if Jimmy was not at par as Aiden was by the time he came into this motherfucker and wasn't up to it, that there would be the possibility of a trade or release or things of those. So all I'm doing is speaking is what could happen. And like I said, the thing I think is funny about Raider Nation is I think a lot of people get dead set in their heads, and especially in our fan base, that if a player is here, he's just there. He's locked there. It's not true. It's not true in any franchise, not in ours or anybody else's. So I've said, when people are sitting there implying like Jimmy has a high contract, even if we cut him at $20 million, dude, he's peanuts, dude. His contract is peanuts at the quarterback position, dude. So I don't think they'd have any problem. They're not eating 50. They're not eating 60 million. They're not eating 40 fucking million. They're not even eating 30. They're not eating 22, 25. They're eating 20 million, So that's all I'm saying is in certain types of places, money will be most definitely swinged around and justified for sure.
OJ, the thing that you're forgetting is O'Connell's been getting reps with the starters even before Jimmy came back. Remember, Jimmy had to pass his physical first. So before that, O'Connell's been getting reps with the starters since the beginning. And even then today, O'Connell got reps with the starters too. Like, O'Connell's also
but they're implying the thing when they make comments like that is that they're implying that he had one series or one deal. One series, he played fucking the whole entire game damn near, 3 whole quarters, dude. He played out every single deal. He put up numbers that would be no different than dudes out there in their debuts and starting, and put them up at a higher level. And that's the whole entire thing is that people negligate the way that he calls plays, identifies inside the box, everything. But we can go back to 15 quarterbacks drafted out this year, including dudes like Stroud and so on, that were not even fucking close to fucking Aiden's play style, but they're gonna be like, yeah, he's gonna start over there, and that's okay, and it's justified, and everybody that talks about it justifies those conversations. Like, again, I'm not here to talk about people's personal feelings. I'm not here to sit and debate somebody about their personal feelings. What I'm here to debate is that there is the fucking reality that motherfucker will start. No difference than fucking Mac Jones started for the Patriots when they took him in the first year, and he went out and fucking made it to the Pro Bowl and to the playoffs. So again, I don't understand where people are coming up with these narratives and then just sticking to it like it's fucking concrete, dude.
That is
like,
the thing. When it
this
comes to
fucking coach
McDaniels,
just did it 2 years ago with another guy.
when it comes to McDaniels, just like
personal feelings.
Just like Mike Florio, like he said it himself, this is the type of quarterback where you would trust McDaniels with, whether they're a veteran like Jimmy G or a rookie like O'Connell and Mac Jones, because they're going to do well in this system because this is a system made for them. Whether they're a rookie, like I just said, rookie like Aiden O'Connell or a veteran like Jimmy G, they're gonna work out. Like, granted, O'Connell may make rookie mistakes because he's a rookie, but even then, like Dustin just brought up with Mac Jones made it to a Pro Bowl his first season in McDaniel's system.
Yeah, so, and imply like the other thing to imply like he needs reps with the first team. Who do you think was getting the reps with the first team when Jimmy's ass was hurt the whole entire time? Like, it was most definitely fucking Aiden. So that, like I said, man, again, at the end of the day, I think at the end of the day, I've said it. It's not that I'm indicating he's going to go out there and start. Well, again, like I said, I'm just going to sit back and say, hey, I fucking told you when it happens. That's all I'm fucking say. So that's all I'm going to do.
Here's what I'll say on the whole Jimmy G, Aiden O'Connell thing. So I don't dislike the fact that the Raiders went out and got a veteran, especially one who's had a previous relationship with Josh McDaniels, ostensibly has some familiarity with the system. Not only that, but the fact that he is a veteran, and as a lot of these teams do, when you draft a rookie, you also make sure that you have a veteran who's been in the league, for several years, so that he can sort of mentor, the younger kid, whether that's as the starter or maybe as a backup from the sideline. That I don't have an issue with. And, obviously we don't know what McDaniels and Ziegler were thinking. Maybe they at first, wanted to lock in a more a surefire option at quarterback if all else failed in the draft, for example. That's why they went out and pursued Jimmy Garoppolo. And so, and then obviously the draft rolled around. You never quite know who's going to fall to you when at the draft. Now, at the same time, Aiden O'Connell was not highly touted going into the draft. So, like I said, who knows exactly what their plan was going into the draft, but maybe it wasn't their plan originally to get him. Maybe they had their eye on him for a while. Who knows? But what I will say that I think is unfortunate about this situation is that, it would be better, I think, if Jimmy G were on a less committal, probably also less expensive contract, because like I said, you look at the contract that
I
Jimmy
literally
G is
just said he's on one of the cheapest contracts. What do we want him playing on? Food stamps? Do we need Jimmy playing on food stamps to imply that he's a $23 million quarterback? Where is he ranked? Like fucking probably 30th in the league? Maybe 20th? I literally just said this 2 minutes ago. From 20 million to 60 million or 30 million or 50 million is $30 million jump. It is massively a massive jump. Like, that's almost fucking 5 players on a team. Like, Jimmy's contract is fucking cheap. So I don't know where the hell we're implying it's expensive. And his contract can be getting out of every single year of his contract for the next 3 years.
So as far as the financials go, like, you can compare his contract to like Mitch Trubisky's, for example. So Mitch Trubisky, this year will earn a yearly cash of $8 million. Jimmy's this year is almost $25 million.
He ain't the starting quarterback of that team. If we go to Mariota and look at his, he was making $10-12 million. Are we talking about backups, or are we talking about starters in the NFL?
But what I'm talking about is, Mitch Trubisky was in a situation last year that Jimmy Garoppolo could very well find himself this year, in the sense that
Jimmy found himself in that spot for the last 3 years of his career.
So that only further proves my point that Jimmy G could very well just be the sort of veteran backup. I just don't think, looking at that contract, that's veteran backup bridge to the new younger quarterback kind of money. Because like I said, you compare his financials to Mitch Trubisky's, who, like I said, a year ago, Mitch Trubisky was in the same situation, was in a situation that Jimmy G could very well find himself in this year, and in previous years has found himself in, when it comes to the likes of not only Trey Lance, they've been trying that, now Brock Purdy, So what I'm saying is that
we're saying that it's justified if he gets hurt, but it's not if he doesn't. I think that's the craziest take, dude. It's like contradicting the conversation. Like, how is it okay if he gets injured that we would justify him being out?
when did the word injured come out of my mouth? I never said
You've
that.
said
word.
it numerous times over the time that if something was to happen to him, it would be okay to justify to bring him in there. It's not justified either way.
Obviously, if Jimmy G gets injured, then you have to make a move. That's different than if he's not cutting it, if he's fully healthy, but he's not playing up to par. You know, he's making $25 million this year. I mean, I guess, you know, you have to eat. You have to make that decision. I just think that, you know, maybe had they made less of a committal contract with Jimmy G, you know, I would feel more comfortable with this situation because, like I said, right now I look at Jimmy G's contract and I think this is a guy that they're hoping to have a 2 to 3 year window with, and
it has an out in every single year, so I wouldn't even anticipate that.
Well, the out
is the same thing Derek Carr's contract was, man. People are anticipating 2-3 years. That's what they're anticipating. The contract clearly states they'll leave his ass at the end of this year the same way they left Carr. Has the same fucking deal in it. So people need to pay attention to the contract a lot more before they start saying 2 to 3 years. 2 to 3 years is that if we need it. We can shit can that fool right here after this year. And not only that, we can shit can him in the middle of the year, beginning of the year, fucking 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 10th game, fucking 20th game. If that fucker re-injures his foot in any way, shape, or case, bam, gone. So I don't understand how we're implying like, yep, it was 3-year commitment. That contract was committed to the second that fucking guy got injured. The second he gets injured, the second even that foot gets injured, relinquishes the contract, the money, every single thing of those deals. Like, that's the thing where the Raiders are implying that in 3 years, that if they don't have somebody behind and they keep him, that they would keep him. But somebody that you're locked into and committed to for fucking 3 years, why in the fuck would you have an out on him every single year? Do you think over here in Aaron Rodgers, they're like, yep, we got out on you every year. Yep, with Tom Brady playing, we had out on you every year. Derek Carr, we had one every year. No, the fuck you didn't. You didn't even get it till you got here, dude, and put it into the new contract. Like I said, these guys don't play stupid football, dude. They've made these things with Jimmy's contract, with other players, people they bring in, anything. They already foresee these problems, dude. And everybody keeps saying, like, oh, Jimmy's contract's they have outs in his contract, dude. This guy hasn't played a full season but maybe once or twice in his whole career. Like, that's the thing. They have multiple outs in the contract, dude. If they felt like Jimmy was this Iron Man, Derek fucking Carr, they wouldn't have that shit in there. They wouldn't have it where he can't take them to a fucking court and sue them and all these fucking deals. In that contract, there's a boatload of shit in that deal. All kinds of fucking different outcomes or specifications and things of those deals. Like I said, dude, Jimmy's contract, there's no brick in anything of his contract whatsoever, dude. Guy goes out there in the first game, steps on that bitch's foot, breaks, man, he can get the fuck out of here, and we get all our money back. So thank you. Outside the money that he played in that game.
Word. Okay, so moving on to another topic. Sergio, if you're still here, why don't you get us started on your topic of the Raiders' defensive line and offensive line continuing to dominate based on what we've been hearing?
Yeah, so basically, like, even though Dylan Parham was absent, many reports came out that when it especially came to 1v1 drills, that many of the offensive linemen were dominating the Rams defensive linemen heavily, and many were suspecting, like, this is also count Aaron Donald. Now, Aaron Donald wasn't at the joint practice. He took a veteran day off. Same with Chandler Jones. He also took a veteran day off. With the defensive line, a pretty significant name that keeps popping up, Adam Butler. Adam Butler just keeps ever since Adam Butler's been on the team, he's been like he was at first a name that was quiet but kept dominating. Now his name is getting more and more noticed because how he just keeps dominating so far, like our own offensive line, the Niners, and then the preseason, and now the Rams offensive line. And he's even taking pride in it into himself. I mean, that now he's like getting back, like he's now officially like getting back into it and stuff like that. And
Mhm.
especially with how Max Crosby setting the tone, trying to set the tone for the defense, trying to keep them like in that like winning mindset, like don't ever like relax yourself or like feel sad or anything. Like keep everything 100% in your mindset, keep everything aggressive. It's something that I'm pretty happy about this before the season starts, because that's something that I know for a fact that Ziegler on both sides of the ball is like very heavily, like ever since he got here, that's the one thing he said that he wants to like make it like um, go very dominating is the trenches, especially since you look at like the players that he's got the past 2 years he's been here. Like a huge chunk of it has just been like defensive or offensive linemen. Either they got picked in the draft or they were signed as UDFA's, and that's something that I'm very happy that Ziegler is very focusing on, especially when you got like something that we emphasize a lot is how like the year before last season we had like one of the worst offensive lines, and then we got like in a top 12 offensive line, and it may perhaps become even better this upcoming season with how everything's being advertised. Um, and then with the defensive line, that's something that Graham really wants to see succeed first more than anything on his defense. That's something he very heavily focuses on. And despite like obviously how bad the defensive line went last season, it seemed like now with how happy we were that they just piled up a bunch of depth from like free agency, from the draft, and all that. It's looking at
Mhm.
now this is coming into fruition that now the defensive line is coming in as advertised. Like now they just have waves of linemen in depth that offensive lines are going to have to worry about. Like it's going to be to the point where I think Graham is like trying to make it to where offensive lines like don't take a breather or a sigh of relief. Like they got to keep their like tense, like because they don't know when like they're going against like a defensive lineman that's still going to just break through the line, whether they're like a backup or a legitimate starter. Especially now with Tyree Wilson back, that should most definitely help the defensive line stay dominant throughout this preseason.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. I mean, obviously, as we've been talking about, throughout this offseason, um, especially with the much anticipated return or since the return of eventual arrival, we'll say, of Tyree Wilson following his surgery and resultant recovery. Um, we've been talking about the potential of this defensive line, especially. Um, and, that also includes, the likes of Byron Young, who, as we've discussed, was really instrumental in stopping the run up in the middle as an interior lineman for Alabama, University of Alabama's defensive line. Obviously, we have Max Crosby, who's an elite pass rusher, as well as just overall pest in the offensive backfield. Um, Hopefully, Chandler Jones can return to form. That's obviously the one big storyline to follow throughout the season. But if he can return to form and earn the money that he's been paid or the contract that he's been signed to, the sky really is the limit for this defensive line, I would say. So yeah, it really is encouraging to obviously as we've already gone over, the fact that Tyree Wilson has now been activated from injury. Um, I, oh yeah, Byron Young did return as well from injury. He was activated off the PUP list not long ago. So that's obviously another positive sign. Um,
He
so,
came back over the weekend. I think on
right,
Sunday he was reactivated.
right. So, um, obviously, yeah, like I said, I mean, it's really encouraging to hear um, the progress that not only these individuals as defensive linemen have been making, but also as a unit, because obviously that really has been um, one of the major plans for retooling or rebuilding this roster, whatever you want to call it, on the part of Dave Ziegler is really focusing on the boys up front, especially when it comes to defense. that defensive line and really trying to shore up that that aspect of the defense, which obviously, as we know, can really turn the tide of games, especially if a group like that is able to disrupt the offensive backfield, particularly the quarterback. To say nothing of the run game, things of that nature. Dustin, was there anything you wanted to add?
Yeah, because I think, like I say, Ziegler, man, Ziegler knows this shit, dude. Because, like I said, where people think it's a retool, it's 100% rebuild. I mean, if you're looking at a roster and you're looking at 53 players and you're like, hey, we kept fucking 10 dudes and replace fucking 43 other motherfuckers, you're most definitely rebuilding your team. I mean, the thing that I think is funny how they look at it is like they've literally taken depth pieces, pulled out dudes, put other pieces in place. I mean, especially within the whole entire offensive, the wide receivers, tight ends, the halfbacks outside of Jacobs. I mean, everything has been changed, dude. And that's why I don't understand how people think retool, dude. It's like you look in the halfback position outside of Josh Jacobs, these are all their dudes they've brought. You know what I mean? Like that they're bringing. Go to the tight ends the same fucking way. Go to the wide receivers damn near the exact same way outside of Renfro. You know what I mean? The offensive line for the most part, what would we say? I guess out of James and fucking Miller, because everybody else outside of Parker and so on are their dudes too. So but then you're in the defense doing the same thing. You know what I mean? Like you got Max that's here and Trayvon Morig, but fuck, damn near everybody else is gone. And long story short, Adam Butler was one of the ones that went with Max and them to the Von Miller camp. And then it's not surprising that he's one of the dudes that is just showing up with massive pressure this year right now. You know, like there's a lot of dudes over on that defensive side that are showing up in a lot of different ways. I mean, Bernie, dude, his limits, the Sky, and his play style, his adaptability, everything that he's doing, having the safety with the linebacker type deal. So he has that coverage play. So if you get a player like Epps down inside the box, he's a player that can play over the top, that can pick him up and still have that type of comfortability. I mean, I've said it, dude. I think the defense and offense has been retooled massively, and I think that they're way more stable in depth, you know, and going through the preseason, like everybody keeps saying, it doesn't matter, you know, it is what it is. But the funny thing is that I sit here and hear people say like last year that, oh, we went through the preseason, fuck, we were undefeated. That was with Derek Carr, motherfuckers. Like that's the kind of shit I don't understand why people make these type of talks, you know. And the other thing, the other thing is like they're over here talking about Aiden O'Connell not going to be ready, right? But motherfuckers were okay with Carr going for 13 games or 11 games without a fucking win, period. Like I don't understand the justification in how they're developing or asking a player to be, but one's okay, one's not. You know what I mean? Like that's something else I'm even gonna go do. I'm gonna sit here and wait till Aiden's done out of his fucking preseason and then match his preseason stats with just about all these motherfuckers and then see where his at and then see how people are rating these type of players and how they're viewing their type of development. You know, like you can't just put it base in general and say that everybody is underneath the same circumstance. They're not. Not every player learns the same way. Not every player develops the same way, dude. Some players can learn right the fucking way. Some have photographic fucking memories, dude. Like, that's all I say is I feel like that we get to a point in football, dude, where people are putting out narratives that they act like that goes for every single person. It doesn't fucking go that way, dude. So, like I said, if the guy's got every single fucking accolade on the board that proves that he can roll, he's gonna roll. And I don't care. Like I said, I'm gonna be the one that sat here and said, "Oh, see, motherfuckers, I said it," because I know Jimmy ain't going the whole year, man. And if we just play Hoyer, I think that'd be stupid. That'd be so dumb, man. Be the dumbest mistake, I think. But like I said, with that offense, dude, I mean, that offense is powered to go. Look what the kind of points we put up, dude, and we didn't even have him scoring hella points, like as the quarterback. You know what I mean? And then and that was with all backup players, not even one, you know, physical starter out there. So, like I said, I think our team on both sides of the ball is going to be pretty ruthless, man, in my opinion. Offense, defense. I mean, I think the defense that's where the tall tale is going to be at, dude. Like, are they going to show up where we can win fucking few games off their back, dude? Like, I think that's going to be the tall tale of the whole entire development, everything that's happened right now. And I know it's going to happen because, shit, we're sitting here looking at dudes like Jay, dude, that may have a possibility of making the roster. I've literally just sat and said that they tried out 4 different edge players, so there's somebody on that edge that they obviously don't feel comfortable with or think that's going to be a good player over the time. Defensive tackle, you know what I mean? Like, you don't just go out and look at players for no reason. Like, you're looking there because somebody's not meeting the criteria. And I've said it, like, if you're just honing in on those spots to make your defense that much more better, than great, because look how dangerous it is already, dude. I mean, this is the thing that's hella funny. What did we have? Like 8 fucking so what, in that last game we had 5 sacks, I think. 5 sacks, 2 turnovers. Like, we were wrecking their life, dude. We haven't even had 8 interceptions in camp probably in the last 3 years put together.
Something to take big notes on is, even though people say it's preseason, something that I guess a lot of people don't realize is I think they said the first 3 to 4 drives, they were all scripted by Kyle Shanahan. So that's kind of why when you look at the beginning of the game, Shanahan was very frustrated with how the game was going, because the first few drives were written by him, and then everything else was just everyone else play calling. So, and those 3 to 4 drives ended with us sacking Trey Lance multiple times.
What was it? What was it? 2 sacks. 2 sacks for 1 yard in the first fucking possession.
Yeah, the first 3 to 4 drives resulted with 1 positive yardage.
Yeah, and I get it, dude. Like, we'll see where we're all at when we get to the start. But if we even anticipate, like, Wilson's just going to pop in here and do it all right away, I think we're even more crazier than I thought, So I've said I think they're waiting on Chandler's development, dude, and see where he's coming along, which he's coming along good, dude. Every single video I've seen this dude getting on and off players, spinning them, dude, pushing in and getting out, dude. Like, he's got a way different arsenal inside his pocketbook this year. And then that's like I said about last year about throwing games. You get a certain way how people start playing and acting when you throw games, dude. And then this year around, you don't even have that vibe whatsoever, dude. I've said it's not coincidence that, what did we have? 9 draft picks? And we're talking about damn near 6 to 8 of the draft picks on good terms, like on good terms of production. That's pretty fucking good. You couldn't say that in Gruden and Mayock's tender at any given fucking point. We're saying that in the first fucking weeks of camp on multiple players. And then not only that, we're sitting here saying, Masterson, UDFA from the year before, dude. Fucking Drake Thomas, over here busting up motherfuckers.
Curtis,
UDFA
Dalton
player
Wagner,
again.
Adam Plant.
Wagner, Curtis, Adam Plant, multiple of these fucking players, dude. And everybody just act like it doesn't even matter. Like, I don't understand how in the fuck I swear to God, they're in the Matrix, dude, or just straight fucking dumb, because these fucking guys have hit on just about every single fucking person they've come. Look at Sincere McCormick, dude. Year later, pops up here. What do you know? He's popping up more in fucking Zamir.
They said today that Sincere McCormick, I think, had 2 touchdowns. One of them was passing.
I said last year when we got that guy, the second we signed him in the UDFA, and I said that we got him. I said, watch, that's Josh Jacobs' replacement, dude. I said it in our lives. I've said it in all. That dude has the fucking truth in him, dude, and I don't give a fuck what people think about him or how they view him. That dude has played hardcore ball, dude, and he runs over motherfuckers, dude, and he's going to do it right here, and he's already doing it. And that's the thing. People say, oh, they're second and third. I don't give a fuck. The thing is that there are plenty of starters out there, too. I don't understand why they just negligate that. Hell, some of the teams, like I said, half the NFL started starters. And not only that, there's multiple teams playing starters all the way into the half, dude. Maybe at 1, 2, 3, 4 different positions. Maybe not the whole fucking team, but they most definitely have starters on the field. So I don't know why we're just neglecting all that shit like it's just, oh, 2s and 3s and all that. No, there's not, dude. For the base gist of it, yes, it is. But there are fucking starters out there. That's why I said about the Moody, the Wagner, that type of shit. You can't just look past that shit. There are NFL fucking starters that are right on those lines just as much as they are, and they're already outgrading them. That's all I'm saying. You can't just look past that shit. If the motherfucker plays in regular games or preseason games, he should be dominant all fucking time. Shouldn't just get over there and be like, oh, preseason game doesn't matter. Fuck it. Let me just say here I suck. Oh, we're getting regular season. Let's go. Like, sit the fuck on the bench if that's the case. But I can see a guy doing that because I played football my whole life, and I've never seen nobody just fucking do that. So, like I said, man, I mean, I think our team is really fucking – I think our team's going to shock a lot of people, man. And I don't care if it's Jimmy. I don't give a fucking who the goddamn quarterback. As long as we're fucking winning, all I'm saying at the end, I'd rather get to Aiden sooner than later. I said it in Saturday's live that we know who Jimmy is. We don't know who Aiden is. And Jimmy ain't going to get anywhere better than where he's at. Aiden is yet to even begin his career. Like, big fucking differences. It's like my woman wanting to have a fucking 25-year-old rope horse going to die at the end of its career, or me just training a fucking 2-3-year-old that you'll have for the next fucking 15 years of your life. I'd rather train this motherfucker so I have it longer, you know? Not only am I going to buy this old motherfucker, he's going to fight me, going to argue with me, and then eventually he's going to die. I got to dig a hole, bury this motherfucker, or call tallow and pay $2,000, get him out. It's just a process. And all I'm saying is like, I don't know how we justified the Carr situation, but we can't justify having Aiden and Jimmy fight it out in preseason, dude. I've literally sat here and said that you have the 2 Super Bowl fucking teams out there, dude. Fucking, you have 2 of the most highest quality quarterbacks in all of football playing, but whatever reason, we're giving Jimmy a fucking a pass, and we're just accepting it. I'm not accepting it, and I'm not gonna accept it. And I think it's straight pussy shit, just like I've talked about on our show, you know, fucking 50 times about how pussy this sport's getting. Because if these fucking dudes are buckling down and going out and playing because they want to fucking play, because they're men, that's what they are. They're fucking men. They want to play the fucking game. And this dude don't want to play because he's worried Aiden gonna take his job. And then we're like, yeah, let's just wait till he gets to the first game. Well, the first game counts. That counts. This guy goes out there, gets fucked up, dude, and we don't have him ready. And look, if Aiden got to come in and play superhero and do it that way, then so be it, whatever it may be. All I'm saying is if dudes keep talking like, we're going to go to Super Bowl, we're going to win a Super Bowl, we're going to have the best chance inside. Well, your best chance would be at knowing who the fuck quarterback is to begin with. And not only that, not just sitting here saying that, hey, Jimmy's going to get us to week 6. Like, that's crazy as fuck, dude. This isn't a fucking marathon. I didn't see any time at any given point where we're going to hand off a baton to the next motherfucker so he can go on. I've been watching football my whole entire life, dude. Like, the quarterback's the quarterback the whole fucking year. This is the time that we got a quarterback that's straight pussy, that's straight brittle. And, again, I hate that we're even having the conversation because again, he's only had 2 years in his whole career that he's played a whole season to begin with, dude. And we're implying like he's just going to play the whole season. He's not going to play the whole season, dude. It's just showing if it ain't a foot, it's his pussy. If it's not his pussy, it's his ribs. If it ain't his ribs, it's his wrist. I mean, that's all I'm trying to say is you got a kid that's got so much heart over here, dude. And all I'm saying is like, I want to win. I want to win at every means possible, dude. Like, historic franchise stories happen in these type of situations, dude. We're not just asking Aiden like we asked Carr to come in, be drafted, go out there with nobody. Like, we're not asking him that. We are literally saying like, bro, listen, we have a goddamn fucking offensive line for you. We have fucking receivers for you. We have motherfucking tight ends for you. We got motherfucking halfbacks for you. Guess fucking well, we got every fucking thing you need for you. And then we're still like, yeah, I don't know. This motherfucking ain't gonna get no better for him. Like, that's the kind of shit I'm not understanding. And for the team to win, dude, that type of money that sits in return, receive back, if you're able to trade them or be able to cut them or however, any type of terms like this. And then this is the thing is, what if Aiden's able to go out there, play with the ones, dude, and they just gel the fuck out? Him and Devontae have this deal, him and Renfro, him and Jacoby. Like, what if they're chemistry is way better. Now, okay, now you're sitting there looking at it where Aiden's never even met Josh, don't even know him really, fucking ain't never played with him on the field, don't miss or fucking lack his play style, and he's doing this without. Like, what I don't think people are understanding is like just getting rid of those two players, that's $30 million back. That's like going back into free agency all over again, dude. Like, all over again, and being able to pick up the best of where we're lacking. Like, that's all I'm saying. If we're trying to win a Super Bowl, man, I've said it. There are so many Super Bowls, dude, have been won by dink-ass quarterbacks like Brad Johnson, dude, and fucking Dilford and multiple other people just because the surrounding area of the team was better, dude. That's all I'm saying. I don't understand where we got away from the game of football and act like, oh, these guys got to be so perfect. No, they don't, dude. No, the fuck they don't. I've spoke on it numerous times about last year about the defense, dude, that if we gave up 7 or 10 games that were in multi-score fucking games and the defense just won fucking 2 or 3 of them, we would have been a 9-win fucking team, dude. That's all I'm saying. With even that big of the flag, with the points and everything, we would have still been a fucking winning team. And that's it. And they wouldn't have taken much more. It's not like you're asking to change a massive setting of where it's at. All you're asking to do is just say, hey, bro, on third down, don't give it up to fourth. You know, like, that's all. What did we do? Fourth down, give it up, fucking let them go again. That's all you do. Put another player in there where now you go to third down, you stop fourth. Dude starts questioning like, hey, I ain't going to go for it on fourth because you can't get by it on these guys. Punt the fucking ball. Give them another deal. That's all we would have needed last year. Just that type of simple fucking thing. Would have changed the whole outcome. People are sitting here acting like, oh, you need this massive overhaul and you need to change mass. No, you do not. No, the fuck you do not, dude. The way that our team was playing offensively, all we would have needed, dude, was like a 28th ranked defense to move to like the 24th, dude, and for them to take out the fourth fucking down production or fucking third down production somewhere in that line. They would have just had to flip it around and just gain themselves maybe 4 or 5 spots. And guess what? Our defense would have been way fucking better in that type of game, but we never were able to do it. And that's all I'm saying. Like, you're sitting here looking at players like Bernie, right? I kept watching Rex or Rob Ryan, right? Did you guys watch with the mic'd up? He fucking was talking about him numerous times over there. Hey, get on top of your game, be fast, fucking pay attention, fucking play well like you've been playing, all these things. And then he starts seeing it show up in the camp, dude, where he's fucking getting in there, disrupting people. Then you see it in the fucking game. Don't forget, dude, this guy was a later round draft pick, dude. This was a guy that people thought we were going to look at Richardson, and we ended up finding this fucking guy. Like, that's all I'm trying to say is
I mean, like, I said don't sleep on Bernie. And even in the preseason game, me and you, Dustin, were talking about this. I loved how Bernie played that game, especially in coverage, especially whenever Graham went into zone coverage. I'm pretty sure that's where Bernie heavily takes advantage, is zone coverage. Bernie was just killing it in coverage specifically, and I really wish he grabbed that interception during that game, because that would have definitely got everyone eyes on him more. It would have gotten him bigger attention. But it's not only in coverage, but when it came to like pass rushing, stopping the run and everything, like, the dude was killing it. Especially how when he chases down the QB, like he was making Lance like scared for his life.
I just think their production, when you look at their production over the time, Bennett's production over Averett, dude, like Bennett's showing up in game 1 fucking more lockdown than Averett did in his whole entire fucking time. His whole fucking time. You know, like, those are the things. Nesta fucking popping up in the line like this dude just a straight fucking dog, dude. Like, just straight dog. Like, he should have been first round pick.
I love
then you're
his
sitting
confidence.
there saying, with Bernie, dude, in one game popping up already inside there, fucking playing at a really high level, dude. I mean, year 1 back, Masterson playing at a really good level. Even Smith played decently, dude. Like, that's all I'm saying is like, these fucking guys as players, dude. Tucker, if Tucker catches both of those balls, he would have been on top of the world right there, dude, already in the first game, you know. So he just got to work on his hands a little bit more. That's all he got to do. But man, that separation he got off, dude, getting by, especially.
That's one thing we do know is that he can get separation easily.
Yeah, that slant's kind of on Aiden and him. You know, Aiden could have let him a little more in front, dude. Aiden tried just dotting it on him, you know. So I'll say, like, that's kind of responsible on both of them. But he should have still caught it. It was right in his fucking hand. So, but the diving catch, I mean, that's a really tough catch. So, I mean,
He knew anyway. Like he tried to make the offense like do another play before they called it.
Yeah, and the thing all I keep saying is like we have yet to have like Renfro, Adams, Dorsett, fucking, like the straight starters on the field, dude. Like I meant Jacoby, like the whole starting tandem out there, fucking Myers, Hooper, like even like fucking Fatherham, like is Ozzy's dude, like once you start getting that whole core out there, put it on the line, it was like I was gonna say with Wagner, like with the Parker injury and then the Wagner,
we can transition this into the next topic being Wagner.
Yeah, he would be the fucking. I think he's gonna be, in my opinion. I was telling Ozzy this morning when I forgot that he was fucking early morning. I forget that he's over in Australia. But long story short, we were talking, and I think like with the Parker injury and then the way that he's playing, it would take more. It would most definitely take more production for him to pop up. But the thing that people have to most definitely look at is that he was ranked 5th in the NFL and first amongst rookies. You know what I mean? Like that's not just no slouch ass shit. So I'm sitting there thinking, out of all the fucking linemen, dude, if it's 5 people on 32 fucking teams, dude, is going to be 150 just right away.
PFF also ranked him as the best offensive lineman. If I remember correctly, he had 50 snaps and didn't allow a single pressure.
Yeah, and I've said, like, the thing about him is that's crazy. And this is something that, like I said, in game 2 and game 3, you'll test this out with him. But this guy, dude, if you go back and watch the tape on Wagner, he looked like a fucking cat playing with a mouse, dude, like a little, like trapping a mouse in a corner or something and just fucking playing with it. Because every time a dude come up on him, he just push him straight up out, dude, right out like he didn't even matter, just straight out into the fucking field, dude. You're like, what the hell? Like, the guy got some massive fucking presence on him, dude. And not only that, he's strong as shit. So I would not be surprised if they keep trying to push him more and more up into the, into the starting role in there. And I've even said, like, with Ozzy about it, like, where people are like, oh, well, what about Munford? I've always said this. The NFL and me personally, I've always said that's why I don't have bias to individual players. Just because a player was drafted the year before or a person's individual view on them, that's not what you go off. You go off analytics, how they're fucking developing within the NFL, the stature that they're putting up, the numbers. You don't sit there and say, oh, this guy just happened to fucking pop up to be one of the best out of nowhere, and we're just going to look past it because we drafted Munford last year and put it. Like, you can't do that. It's the best people that play at all fucking times, man. And that goes for quarterback, wide receiver, halfback, any position at all in football. So just because Munford was drafted somewhere or Luminor's even been based that he won't even be here next year. And that's been clear as day since day one. So they've extended him on a 1-year deal, even anticipating that they were going to roll over with Munford.
Considering
but the thing is,
all the right tackles stay as advertised, then the right tackle position wouldn't be a Luminor versus Munford. It would be a 3-way battle between Munford, Wagner, and Luminor, which, to be honest, that makes it sound amazing if it's a 3-way battle. And
that's what I think is exactly what's going to happen. And market, watch. It's going to happen like that. I bet anything I own, it's going to go 3-way battle between the 3 of them. And even in the camp today, people were saying that they can't even get by him, dude, in one-on-one drills and so on, that he was holding his own. That, like I said, Wagner is one of them dudes I think is going to most definitely pop up over the next few weeks for sure, consistently. And I think at the end of the day, just to move like me off of it is that I feel that at the end of the day, when Josh and Pasillas go and sit down inside, it's the best 5. That's what it's about. The best 5 fucking players, dude. Like I said, they don't play favoritism to any person here because they weren't here to be friends with them. They're here to coach them and win. So I think, like I said, Wagner can most definitely earn himself a starting spot here. Just watch. And I think if it ain't starting, he's going to back up because, like I said, if he comes into the next game and he goes from 5th to like 50th, then yeah, we'll just say fluke shit. But if he comes from 5th and fucking stays there again, top 10, 15. I don't think you're just going to look past that. I think he's going to most definitely. And again, if Munford's already played numerous snaps and he's not even in the top 50, and if he plays again and not in the top 50, I'm telling you, Wagner might take his job.
Yeah, I certainly think that the pairing of McClendon Curtis and Dalton Wagner on the right side of that offensive line, obviously, as we saw towards the end of that preseason game against the Niners, it definitely presents some interesting possibilities. I would definitely say when it comes to Dalton Wagner, I think he's definitely put his competition for that job on the right side of the O-line. He's put his competitors on notice because, I mean, you look back at some of his tape from that game, you know, he looked pretty good. So, you know, obviously the Raiders, you know, they signed him as a UDFA for a reason. You know, they're taking somewhat of a chance on him, but you know that's for a reason. I think we saw that for sure. You know, this past week during the preseason game. So, yeah, I mean, I think they're going to be guys definitely keep an eye on, especially throughout this preseason. You know, when it comes to the right side of this offensive line, which obviously, you know, is something that still needs solidifying, right? Still need, you know, it seems as though the three leftmost positions of the interior offensive line are pretty much set in stone, but it's those other two positions that are still variable. So, you know, maybe guys, you know, through preseason can really make a name for themselves and really give the otherwise maybe presumed starters or guys higher in the depth chart run for their money. So those are probably two guys that I would definitely keep an eye out for.
And Moody, you can't look past Moody, dude. He had the highest grade of everybody in week 1 on the line. 94, what was he? He was graded at a fucking, 94 flat, dude. First overall out of all offensive players in week 1. So, like I said, if you're sitting there, regardless if it's Moody, Curtis, and then Wagner over there, I'm telling you, I think Wagner is going to end up finding his way out there. He's a big-ass motherfucker, bro. Like, that dude don't fucking play, and he doesn't have issues like Illuminor, dude, where you're watching him, where he's, like, moving inside and pushing a guy into his player. Like, he literally pushes a guy towards the quarterback, you know? I said with Wagner, it's like this. It's like, bat, get out of the way, bitch. Bat, about to move over here. Oh, hold on. You're going to go the fuck over there. Like, he don't have those issues. He don't have moving with the fucking player issue. Like, he controls the player. Like, a big difference in the type of player for me, you know? So, Luminor, man, he lacks a lot in those type of deals. I mean, I can show you 2-3 plays alone, dude, where Luminor hit up on a guy and push him like this, and he moves to the inside where the hole opening in the center of the fucking deal straight pat to the quarterback. That's not being a good fucking tackle. That's not a good thing. You need to push that fucker out and away the other way. And that's all I'm saying is like, what is that guy, like 6'9", 6'10"? He's like 6'10", 300, bro. Like, he's going to bitch you like a little bitch, bro. I mean, he's fucking big motherfucker, man. Like I said, that guy, if we were able to get him down on that line and get, like, Moody or Curtis there with James Parham and Miller, I mean, you would probably have one of the best offensive tackles in Miller and Wagner in all football at that point, dude. Like, if Wagner shows up to the potential he probably could have is all I'm saying. That new Upshaw and Shell in the future. Hey, I'm not going to lie, Clark, dude. I would not fucking doubt it, dude. Like,
all right.
Hey, you got to start somewhere. You got to start somewhere, dude. And fucking Wagner, I'm telling you, this guy is massive, bro. How big is Trent Brown?
He's like, what, 6'8", 6'7"? He's huge.
This dude's 6'9", is he not? Is he not 6'9"?
I don't
He's
think
6'8".
he's. I think
6'8",
he's around
fucking, what, 300?
6'7". Let's look it up. You talking about Wagner?
I got it written down here somewhere.
Wagner is 6'8", 320.
Yeah, that's a big ass boy.
He's a big boy. He's a big boy.
Yeah, that's a big ass motherfucker right there, man. And he controls himself. Like, I think, like I said, dude, if we really wanted to have a dominant pass and run game right there, dude, I think having those guys in there, like I said, with Moody and with Moody or Curtis type player in the inside with Part, like, you got a mauling line there, dude. Like, you're gonna wreck some people's lives, dude. Like, I don't know, man. I'm kind of shocked. I'm kind of more stoked on Wagner now. Just sitting here thinking, like, getting Parker down. I think Parker's going to get an injury settlement and get cut. Like, I really think that's what's going to happen. I mean, it's 2 years in a row now, dude, that he's going to go on the IR for the whole year before the season even starts. Like, why would we hold on to him anymore? So I think he'll probably get an injury settlement and get cut. And I've said, like, with Van Rotten, I know it's not Rotten, but I always call him Rotten. But I just say, like, with him being there, I get it, dude. If he's playing okay, he's playing okay. But I'm always thinking, like, I want the young dudes to be in there right away. Like, I want the young guys to be there right away, dude. Because if you're sitting there looking at Moody and Curtis with Wagner, and then James Parham, like, that whole right there, that whole group is young as fuck, dude. Like, they can be there for a long time and be dominating, dude. And like I said, dude, having him out there, dude, and just getting immaculated, dude, and he's gonna go up against big guys right away. So I think it would be good to know. Like, I think it'd be good to know. I've said, like, there's so many what ifs with our team is what's crazy, man. There's so many what ifs, man. And if those what ifs were to work, like, boy, we can be a dangerous fucking team, man. Like, we can just dominate people. Imagine Max and Bosa, where they already have issue with getting on Miller, and now you got a dude like Wagner that can just hold his own out there, just literally like Trent Brown did Max on the Bears in fucking Europe. Just fucking made him like he didn't exist. And that's the kind of shit you need, is big dudes like that can just dominate your ass.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Salute, Ozzy.
Yeah,
was there
so
anything
just I was
else to
doing
add to
something
the
on my phone
topic?
at the same time. Yeah, like I just want to piggyback off and say like people need to give these rookies a bit more credit. Like, some of them are really shining in camp and in preseason, but we'll wait and see what happens by the end of preseason week 3. We'll have a better idea. But I can definitely see, like, if they trade Lumino, I mean, and they keep Munford and Wagner instead, I can definitely see that as a possibility.
I just think, like, I feel like we get so far away from football, because if we go back into the 80s, if a rookie was able to make the team and try hard, dude, like, it was a fucking set deal that he was probably going to start on the team. And now we get to a point where we fast forward, 30 years, and we're over here telling rookies, like, oh, no, they got to sit for a year. I don't even know where that type of shit even came from.
That was honestly very common back then. When you look at a lot of, like, say, the Raiders legends, or like the Raiders legends who aren't Hall of Famers, but they're legends to us, a lot of them were like what you would call day 3 draft picks, or people who weren't even drafted at all.
Yeah.
So, and then in today's age, like, most of the people don't, like you just said and complaining about, where it's like, oh, well, since we drafted him, like, we want to give him a chance. Like the whole Trey Lance deal, where it's like, well, we want to give him a chance just because we drafted. Like, listen, you already know he's a bust. Your guy who was the last pick in the entire draft has had better success than him. Why are you still holding on to this guy?
Yeah, and there's a difference when you got Trey Lance and Trevor Lawrence production. Like, you already know which one's going to work. There ain't no arguing that point, That's why I say, like, why do people want to hold on to injury-prone players for so long and hope it's just going to change overnight, which it's most likely not, dude? Why do people take guys that have been playing well and then end up with 2 ACL tears that are probably never going to do shit again in that fucking league, and still hope that maybe one day they'll get a game out of them, Like, I always think, like, to me, is if you can identify the player. Like, this is why I say Ziegler's so smart and why he does do it, because I keep saying, if you look at the Rock Ya-Sin and the fucking Peters trade, or, signings or let go, right? I think we win in that trade right now by a mile. Like, I think we win in that signing by a mile. Like, Locke ain't even been playing at all yet. You know what I mean? Like, all I'm saying is like this guy sees shit. He identifies shit. They know what it takes to win.
Yeah,
Like
Marcus Spears,
so,
he's been playing very good in Rocky Sin. I remember me, Dustin, I was like going to you about that. I was like, hey, I guess Ziegler, I should probably apologize to Ziegler because Rocky Sin hasn't even played yet.
yep, he's not even played at all. So, like I said, I just think it's funny that when you have fucking the production here and the way that it's been done, people just look past it. So, but either way, it is what it is. Says my show isn't tomorrow. I need to update that. My bad, y'all. Today's Wednesday. Isn't that Saturday or something? Oh yeah. Sick. Yeah. Look at Rod Martin. He was drafted in the 12th round. Yeah, I mean, there's going to be a lot of players, dude, that are going to show. It's just like I said, what happens when you watch fucking Nesta fucking Jade go out there and start here this year or fucking be second in rotation or something of that, you know? Like, I've always said I hate the way the draft is. I think the draft is bullshit. There's players that are going to, like I said, Max is the perfect example. He was the better fucking pick in that whole entire draft, and he didn't even get found until the 4th round. So I don't give a fuck if you're in the 1st round or not. It doesn't mean shit. It just means you may have a higher potential, but it doesn't mean that it's guaranteed. And that's all I say. It happens all the fucking time. I'm not a fan of how people look at the draft and say, oh, he's a 1st round pick. Oh, who gives a shit, dude? There's more 1st round fucking picks that are out of the NFL long before a dude in the 4th round, because the 4th round guy don't got to worry. He gets longer time to develop. So when they're over there looking for you to get all year fucking shit out of you and you're not, guess you had the time to develop. So then when your ass got shit canned in 3, 4, 5 years, this dude gets to come right in and have a whole nice career, big old contract, everything, because he got to take the fucking time, dude. So I've always said I think the draft is bullshit in my opinion. So
especially how they advertise it now, where the bigger school players get the better opportunity to get drafted earlier, and the smaller school players, like, it's like, oh my God, he was such a steal. Well, yeah, no one wanted to look at him because look at the school he went to.
Yeah, and I hate when they say like, oh, look, he came from a small school. I mean, fuck, I can name multiple Hall of Famers, dude, multiple that are some of the best that ever play the game came from some of the smallest schools in all football, dude. Like, I hate that shit because I can name so many players that went to some of the best fucking schools that were the #1 picks in the draft that didn't even last 4 or 5 years in the NFL, and went to some of the best schools in all football, dude, in college. So I hate how they use that narrative, dude. Like high school people, high-end players that go to high-end schools, dude, usually have less success in the NFL. They're usually out of the NFL in years because, like I said, they go their most winningest team in college and they come to the most losingest team in fucking all fucking NFL. Like, the NFL ain't no joke, bro. When you're fucking going from the team that all you know is win, win, win to all you know is lose, 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 that'll break motherfuckers in half right there. Literally. Morals, soul, heart, fucking the way they play, then it turns into I just want to get paid. Then it's like, fuck, after he gets paid, just give me the fuck off this team. You know what I mean? So that's all I'm saying is just because you go to big schools don't mean jack shit.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, obviously, as we all know, draft busts are pretty much a part of every draft, right? So it's, it is tough on the part of the scouts, to have to sift through, hundreds of players coming from hundreds of schools. So, that's why there are things like the supplemental draft after, the real and official NFL draft. That's why there's, such thing as UDFAs, because, there are certain avenues through which, these coaching staffs or these GMs can really evaluate talent coming out of college beyond, I guess, what the big wig, scouts, the experts, so to speak, or the draft analysts, have to say. So, going back to Dalton Wagner, or McClendon Curtis for that matter, they could definitely be, great examples of that, right? Of guys that were obviously passed over, not obviously valued enough to be drafted. And so, obviously that's even
And I
better
would
for the
say
Raiders.
it's sometimes it's not that it was that, it's that it was team need. You know what I mean? Like when they're on the board,
Right.
sometimes it might be that they want a receiver over a lineman, or a halfback over a lineman, or a linebacker over a lineman. You know what I mean? Is all I'm saying.
Well, I mean, there were, there were offensive linemen drafted. I think the Cardinals with their first round pick took Paris Johnson. He's obviously extremely highly touted. Going to a big school in Ohio State. He was a guy actually that I kind of wanted the Raiders maybe to take a look at and maybe draft, but he might be a bust. We never really know, right? So.
Salute, Pete.
I mean, look at Alex Leatherwood, right? I mean, you can't have a better pedigree than the University of Alabama as far as football goes, but he's now hasn't exactly realized his potential. I guess we could say that's obviously an understatement, but it's just we'll have to see how it all plays out, right? So. Obviously, the Raiders obviously they have the team that they do right now, and as we've also said before, the cuts are coming. The team is going to have to be trimmed. People are going to lose their spots, unfortunately, but for the betterment of the team,
Darius Harris just got cut today.
He got cut today?
Yeah.
What?
Oh, I said he was a camp buddy.
Wow.
DJ Turner's also back, but he's on the IR list.
And I've spoke on that shit the whole that fucking guy, I swear.
I mean, my understanding was he was pretty good. I'm actually rather shocked that he got cut.
It's not that. I mean, there is because you talk about the linebacker, right, from KC.
Yeah. Yeah,
he was.
Considering
okay,
how our
but
linebackers performed during the preseason, they might have probably just wanted to take the chances on them.
Exactly. I can see Murray Burney even outplaying Harris. If you look at his career.
Plus, I think it's a lot to do with information too, coming from the Chiefs, dude.
Yeah, facts. I agree with that totally.
Get that insight.
No, okay, so here's what happened. He was slated to miss the entire 2023 season after reverting to injured reserve on Sunday. But he'll now be free to join a new team because apparently it had to do with injury. So it wasn't just because he was, I guess, not getting the job done.
Hey, we've held on the frack roll all year last year on the IR due to injury right in the preseason. So he must have not have meant nothing to us to begin with.
I don't know. I mean, here, let me pull up his stats, but I mean, obviously, there's differences in the systems and schemes and whatnot, and maybe he wasn't the best.
I think you guys you guys are fucking Patriot haters but Chief lovers, dude. I think it's crazy as fuck. I swear, went on for an hour about a dink ass halfback. We're over here worried about Harris not making the team. What the fuck, dude? Guy never did shit. He was just a fucking player that came in for backup and had a few good games. I mean, I think it's insane how we're valuing certain players because of where they're at or coming from. I think it's mind blowing as shit.
I mean, okay, so he played in every game last year. Started for, had a sack and a half, which for a linebacker is pretty good. 43 combined tackles. So, I mean, just looking at that, there's something to work with there. I would argue, but like I said, I mean, maybe it wasn't the best fit. It looks though, it appears as though the big issue was he had an undisclosed injury and he was apparently waived upon being placed on injured reserve. So,
I mean, I would have cut him either way.
I think Parker will be due here soon too for the same thing.
Considering
they're probably just gonna have to figure out what he needs.
Murray Burney played, I would have cut him either way.
Yeah, I think they're just gonna worry about what he's gonna get paid.
Yeah, so
God damn,
so
why
apparently he's free to join whatever team he wants. Obviously, he's an unrestricted free agent upon passing a physical. That's probably a big if, given that apparently he's supposed to miss the entire 2023 season, or he was supposed to when they put him on IR. So
They did that with Kyle. They did that with Frackrell and Kaiser last year. The exact same thing.
Right. So obviously, I mean, and as Sergio pointed out, it could very well be, that they looked at the play of certain guys in the.
They said, "Oh, Bolton's better than him. Fucking get rid of him." Thomas showed up. Yeah. Bolton showed up. Bernie showed up. Masterson showed up. Spillane was out there. All them dudes showed up. So that's why I say, I mean, they don't need. What are they? The guy, again, he's in. I don't even know. Let's not talk about him. Okay, like the guy's injured. He's no longer on the team. Let's move on to a different topic.
Dustin's kind of like you said.
He wasn't even there. You know what I mean?
It's kind of like it's kind of like when we talked about the running backs. Everyone loves the Chiefs running back, but not the Patriot running back.
I feel like they just love fucking Chief players. You know what I mean? Like these fucking, it's insane. It's insane. Fucking, you'd love somebody in your own division, but don't like players that come from one of the most winningest franchises in all football. It's the most nut shit ever. But like I said, think of fucking a lot of things there, man. Let's go look, see what topics we got. Tyree, Devontae, fucking Vim, joint practice. Already spoke on that.
We can head over to one of my other topics.
Let's go see which Raider is underrated.
Yeah. So what this topic would mean is basically like a question to anyone that wants to comment in the chat, and to people on the panel here, like during this preseason, like all the names that are buzzing around, all the names that aren't buzzing around as much as well, which Raider, like if you could name, like obviously underrated and overrated, if you can name like two Raiders, which one of them would you say is like underrated? Like no one's talking about him that much, but he's going to be very impactful. And then which Raider is getting overrated? Like even our own media is kind of overrating them a little bit, to where you're thinking to yourself like hold your horses. He's not going to be like all that.
Well, that's a good one. That's a good one because yeah, that's a good one, man. Underrated and overrated. Who are your players?
For me personally, if I would say overrated,
Jimmy G.
A little bit, yeah. But if I would pick an overrated one,
my over and under is Jimmy and Aiden.
Oh my god. I mean, that's an easy one for you, Dustin.
That's my over under. I mean, fuck. I mean, I'll tell you right now, Jimmy's overrated and Aiden's underrated. So fucking, I'll take that shit right here, right now. Fucking, if I was just thinking about other players, I mean, it's hella tough, dude, because that's a tough ass question. I mean, who did you say yours were?
If I could say overrated, and this was before the preseason because I thought about this more, I would say Duke Shelley. And my reason why is because this was even before the preseason game. I had to think about this a little because I'm like, why haven't I heard of Duke Shelley this entire training camp or anything? Like sure, there was like a few glimpses and anything, but with everyone else talking him up, and then how we even brought up how, like, oh, he's did well in like man coverage and everything, yet he seems to be getting burnt a lot, especially in like joint practice and training camp and stuff like that. And then during preseason, he's kind of having ups and downs, which is, in my opinion, where, especially now when it comes to the depth chart, like one thing that me and you pointed out the most that was weird is why is he at the bottom of the depth chart in the Raiders facility? Like, that's a little weird too.
Especially when he was brought in here to compete for the starter, if not backup.
Yeah, so that's where I would put him a little bit in the overrated, where I'm like, okay, I think we need to hold our horses on this player, because why is he being categorized as a bottom tier player on our own roster? And then if I could say underrated, I would definitely put Sincere, even though that is a weird thing to put. And the reason why I would put that is because how many people are still saying how he's still in the, like, he should be still in the back of the depth chart, like under Brandon Bolden still, just because where he's at and how he's like technically a first year player, since he didn't get any snaps in his first year. But the reason
But he still learned the playbook. That's what they're not understanding, that Sincere was still able to learn the playbook the whole time. He was on the team. And you know what's funny is I was just gonna say my next one was gonna be overrated Zamir White, underrated Sincere McCormick.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I like it that we thought alike with that. With Zamir, like, yeah, like I know your reasoning with the overrated, considering that during the preseason too, like I remember me and you were kind of complaining about this while watching, is his vision is still obviously in development. How many times?
He doesn't have no vision. He has zero vision, dude. Like, there was a play on the right-hand side where they fucking offset halfback dive up the gut.
If he just took it to the right.
It was a little offset. Dude, if he would have just cut that right player right there, he would have been gone to the house, bro. He would have been gone to the house. And you can just see the way that Sincere's vision, his fucking hand-eye coordination, dude, he has it. Him and Britton both have it, dude. Like I said, I wouldn't be surprised if eventually it ends up Brown and Sincere, but I've said I think they're going to push on Zeus because he's a third-round pick. He was our fourth, and third, right? Fourth.
I'm pretty sure he was a fourth-round pick.
Yeah, and then because Parham was third. But long story short is that you're going to push on him to try to be your back. You know what I mean? So I get that point. But when you lack vision and shit, that shit matters, man. I mean, even that one play to the outside on the left side to go pick up the first down, dude. Like, he tried running all the way there. He could have stopped, like, he could have cut in, like, on the third dude and just ran for the first down. He wanted to run all the way to the outside where everybody was already pushing around the players, dude. Like, he has tunnel vision, hardcore, dude. So, like I said, I'm not high on Zeus in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah, with Sincere, I kind of like it that he doesn't try to fight with others unless he knows, like, there's no way that he can, like, there's no, like, open advantage, like an open field, so he might as well just try to push through the defender that's right in front of him.
Yeah, just to give it a like, that's probably like one of the few things that Dustin and I probably disagree a little bit on is Zeus. Like, I'm a little bit higher on him than you are probably.
So
I
Ozzy,
think with
who
time
would
he'll be
be?
better.
Oh, sorry to interrupt you, Ozzy.
No, what are you gonna ask?
Well, I was about to say, who would be your, like, underrated Raider and overrated Raider during this preseason?
Well, so far, I still believe people are underrating Trey Tucker, but I've been hearing a lot of people talk shit that how he dropped the ball or whatever, and I don't put that 100% on him. It was a good pass, but I don't think it was a perfect pass. Like, I mean, if a receiver has to, like, leapfrog forward and have their arms fully stretched to try and grab it, then it's not really in their breadbasket, is it? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like it's the speed factor. I think O'Connell's still getting used to Tucker's speed, so I feel like he threw it in front of him just a little bit too far. But it was still a good pass, though. It was just a little, like, maybe like a yard or two in front of him too much. But in saying that, I still think Tucker's been underrated a little bit. I think he's going to be better than people think. Not necessarily on this panel, but what I'm hearing from other people around the nation, like some people are like kind of like bagging on Tuck a little bit, saying he can't catch and shit.
Well, one thing I know
Who
that I've
can't?
been hearing, Trey Tucker.
Trey Tucker.
I mean, fucking Tyreek Hill couldn't catch his first year, and he couldn't catch for dog shit. So
Exactly. Like and I also think when it comes to speed guys and quarterbacks, it takes time for quarterbacks to get used to their speed on their routes. So sometimes you will see them throw it like too far in front or behind them a little bit.
I
Especially
mean,
too far in front.
another example would be like where people were making like early predictions that Jamar Chase would be a bust because his first preseason game he dropped all 6 of his targets.
Yeah, exactly. And now look at him now. One of the best in the game.
yeah, and Tucker got one of the best wide receiver coaches in Edgar Bennett the whole entire
Yeah, I was about to say
NFL.
that.
So
Not only that, but he's got
be,
Devontae
I
Adams to
wouldn't be
learn
slouching
behind.
on him too hardcore over there.
Yeah, exactly. And then Devontae Adams is there, can teach him route running and stuff. So even if he doesn't directly teach him, even if he just watches Adams all day in practice, he's still learn shit doing that. Watching Adams running his routes and that.
Who would be your overrated Raider this preseason, Ozzy?
Overrated? Shit. Man, it's a hard one this year because a lot of them are playing really well. I'm just giving me a minute to think. I mean, no, I won't say that because he's probably going to be good. I won't say O'Connell, only because some people happen over it too much. But I do think he's going to be solid. I think he could be a good starter, so I wouldn't say that. Maybe McClendon Curtis, because I haven't seen much yet. Like his name really pop off the screen on preseason. He could end up being a protected practice squad player. But we'll see. There's still 2 more preseason games to go.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, that's kind of like why I wanted this to be a topic. Just be an interesting topic. I mean, that's kind of why, like I said myself, I mean, I already knew what Dustin's answer was going to be because it's the same answer. It would be the same answer every time if I asked. But yeah, that's why I like.
It probably would be like probably 10 out of 10 because I think people find out Jimmy. I mean, the thing is people say like, oh, I want to see what Jimmy does with this team. What did he do with the Niners with the receivers and everybody he had there? I mean, that's the whole thing is I don't remember them all up there just fucking stacking out. I remember getting a lot of yak yards. I remember Debo getting a lot of yak yards from behind the line of scrimmage, running halfback, receiver. Like, we're not sitting here acting like we're over here with Derek Carr fucking throwing the ball to these players. You know what I mean? Like, Jimmy's going to play off of what the defense and the team gives him. That's what he's going to do. It's not like Jimmy's going to come in here and throw for 6 touchdowns this game. I think he had, one 4-game touchdown thrown over, like, the last 5 years. So, again, like I said, I think Jimmy's just getting too much hype, dude. And I've said it. The thing that people aren't looking at is that he has 14 games played in the NFL with 0 touchdowns played, and he has a 12-2 record with it. If you look at
any players, not just rookies.
At 41, at 40 wins, right? If you take away 12 of those fucking wins, dude, what's he at? 28. So just on those wins alone weren't even won by him. You see what I'm saying? Like, the thing I have an issue with is people want to bag on Carr. You can bag on Carr all you want, but the fact is, in 9 years, Carr only had 3 games without a fucking touchdown, you know? So, and he averaged no less than 2 a game. So, I don't know what the hell we're thinking Jimmy's going to fucking do over here. You know, like, I don't think fucking Jimmy's just going to, oh, shit, because Devontae's going to get his touchdowns because that's who Devontae is. But Jimmy still needs to play quarterback and get fucking Trey and everybody else open too and play them too, you know? That's why I keep saying, like, I feel like Aiden would be the guy because at the moment he has 0 bias to any player in the team, man. Or Jimmy, I feel like, what if he just starts honing in on Devontae and then if he starts doing that, is Josh gonna fucking put in plays where Devontae isn't even eligible? You know what I mean? Like, are we gonna run into problems like that because he's gonna get so codependent to Devontae because, you know, of his gameplay. That's all I'm worried about. And like I sit here and say, like, yeah, you got a good play in camp, but nobody can touch him. So I think that matters a lot.
Yeah, I agree. And so we're saying with the overrated thing, we're saying like all players, not just rookies.
They can be fucking anybody.
Okay, that's my bad. I thought we were talking mostly rookies. Yeah, I can probably agree with the Jimmy thing. He has been a little bit overrated. Like I'm still in the ones that I kind of wouldn't mind seeing what he can do, but at the same time, I do think some people are overhyping him a little bit, like you said.
I mean, that's kind of where an attempt to try not to make this another Jimmy G topic. That's kind of where it's similar to why I said my overrated Raider so far is Duke Shelley, because how the same thing where other people are hyping him up, like his man coverage abilities, yet it kind of seems like from the team they don't see him as important or as impactful as the other corners in this cornerback room, considering that they have they had Amik Robertson ahead of him, and I mean I've talked so much how Amik's just a zone corner, yet they have Amik ahead of Duke Shelley, which should be surprising for many people, and then how they even had Sam Webb ahead of Duke Shelley at a certain point, and who's a UDFA, how they had certain corners, how Duke Shelley could just be cut immediately if they wanted to, or say after the next preseason game, if say he has a bad performance, like they can just cut him if they wanted to, or just keep him just as a camp body until because they extended the you don't have to cut a player after a preseason game anymore, or what I mean by that is lower the roster down.
Yeah, I just think time is only gonna. My whole issue with Jimmy is just that I've watched him play. I've seen him. It's not like he's not gonna win. It's not like he's not gonna have a good deal with our team. I'm not implying that he won't. What I'm implying is I think we'll just win more with Aiden. That's all I'm saying, you know.
Salute, Kojo.
Salute, Kojo. Appreciate you, bro. What good, everybody. Max is already setting the tone for this week. I mean, fucking Max just comes in as a dog, bro. He just fucking straight up, motherfuckers weren't listening today. Fucking weren't on the page. He just fucking calls them all out. You know what I mean? Like,
kind of like what we said. Like Max is in charge now. Like this is Max's team now.
Hey, it's either Max's way or the fucking highway, man. Don't be fucking around with Max, dude. He'd be able to fire your ass right there.
I mean, yeah, since the departure of Carter, well, who you need a face of the franchise. Well, Max took that role immediately, and now everyone's listening to him. Like everyone thought it would be Devontae because he's Devontae Adams. No, it was just Max. Max is taking a hold of the team.
Like I even said that earlier that he's a captain.
Like I remember after reports said after the fight with him and Akers, McDaniels went over to Max, and it looks like they were just making jokes and having a positive conversation, and it cooled down Max Crosby a bit, but it made the defense listen heavily.
Well, you can't fucking tell Max to tone it down when that's going to be his mystique, you know, where even Josh has told him earlier on in camp, like, hey, you need to calm it down a little bit, and he's like, no, this is who we're going to be, you know, so, and just like he said, you know, fucking Akers just didn't like what he did, so he just had to deal with it, you know what I mean? Like, that's the thing, you're fucking with the dude that's over here training in the fucking MMA in the off season now, and you want to get personal with them, a little halfback, like, get the hell out of here. Max probably got karate chop your ass.
That's what I said earlier, that Akers is, like, he's kind of a sissy for what was going, especially since he took it to Twitter because he was just butthurt that he got kicked out of practice and Max didn't. Like, he
said he was mad because the play was pretty much dead when Max was trying to punch the ball out of his hand. And I've always said you play all the way to the end, man. So you don't want to buckle up.
But then for you to just take that as like personal and just throw socks at Max,
crying ass motherfucker.
If I can do math correctly, trying to start a fight with Max doesn't sound like a good idea.
Hell no, especially not when you're a fucking halfback.
Yeah, especially with Max's size, right? Whoop his ass.
Now Akers is trying to sound tough, like on Twitter, saying like he gave Max the business
Fucking
and
kid will
everyone has
work.
eyes and they saw what happened. It's like, it looked like Max
He
was in a
said what?
1v5.
Hold on. What did he say?
So he commented when Max said, I was just doing what I did. He didn't like that, so he got what he got. Akers said, somebody asked him what it was that I got. Anybody with eyes saw what happened with him. And then he just started arguing with people on Twitter.
Sounds like
Akers
a keyboard warrior.
Yeah.
Sounds like a keyboard warrior. Fucking, I swear, this fucking younger generation of footballers, man. Fuck. Anyway, whatever, bro. That's
mean,
why I like
considering
Max,
modern
'cause even though
players
Max
are-
is younger. Because, yeah, even though Max is younger, he has that old school mentality.
Yeah, Max isn't really like a social media frenzy guy. Anytime he
Yeah,
is on
exactly.
social media, it's either like him just promoting something or talking about MMA fights or something inspirational, or it's about
Yeah,
his
when my
daughter.
post. Yeah, I was gonna say, I was about his daughter, yeah. And like, or sometimes he might just post like, you know, one of the players in camp saying they're a legend or something like that, the way they're playing.
And yeah,
Some
I mean,
shit.
if you look at one of the pictures too about the fight, it looked like out of context, Max was in a 1v5. Like it was just him against 5 players, like him just trying to break off of Akers. Like he was holding Akers by the face mask, yelling at him in his face. I wish someone had a video of that because I would have liked to see what fully
He's
happened.
probably telling him, "Don't fuck with me, motherfucker."
Yeah, pretty much. He probably went, like he said, he probably went to knock the ball out or whatever, and then fucking Akers got all personal or some shit, and fucking Max probably just grabbed him by the face mask. It's like, don't fucking talk to me like that, bitch. I'll fucking rip your fucking helmet off your head.
Fuck yeah, hey, you're fucking with the bull, bro. Don't forget, I wreck your life every fucking time. So, halfbacks are gonna get smart because they face up, dude, and head up a lot of times. So halfbacks ain't just gonna get back, and then they don't care if it's Max or not. Because don't get me wrong, good halfbacks will toe down and go head on.
Yeah, fact. I'm just
Might
saying,
not
it's pretty
win,
stupid of a guy
might
like
not
that.
win, but he will try.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I can see that. I think it's just in any competitive nature in any footballer, really. Because you have that competitive nature.
I mean, yeah, today was a theme of fights today. Like a bunch of teams just had a lot of fights today.
And plus, we're down in LA, bro. That's our house, dude. Fuck them motherfuckers, dude. So there's most
it was
definitely
probably
they're
like
already ready for the champ, bro.
to
Whose
them,
house? The Raiders' house.
to the Rams, it was probably like it wasn't even like home territory. It felt like they were in our territory for a moment.
That's my point, dude. That's where we've been our whole entire time. These guys ain't gonna start taking that shit over now. That's not gonna happen.
Especially since Raiders moved to Vegas, now they're closer to LA.
Yeah, I just think it's fucking. I think it's just. Well, we play them down there in their house, right?
Yeah, we were.
Yeah, because we wouldn't go down there if we weren't. We're gonna beat the shit out of them down there too, man. Go get fucking Max, dude. Let us play our starters on their starters, and let's see how this goes.
Yeah, make another fight happen.
Hey, I mean, we fight them every time. Let's go. Allison, later, guys. I just want to come chat with you guys. I know I wasn't on topic, so I apologize. I try to stay on topic, but that's a bad habit for me, not trying. I do that to other people. Hey, Allison, it doesn't matter. You're more than welcome to talk. I read all your posts, so don't worry. If it's not intertwining with the Raiders and the topic, I'm not going to bring up Aaron and other teams. So, but I appreciate you commenting and stopping by. What were you going to say, Ozzy?
I was just gonna say, yeah, last time we had joint practices, we had flaps too. last year. I think it was when we had the Rams joint practice last year. We had fights in practice.
I think our
Oh,
players.
yeah.
I think we got like a personal problem with the Rams players.
That's
think
what
it's
I
just-
think too.
Because we treat them like they're bitches, and they are.
Yeah, our team just doesn't like the Rams, which is
Yeah,
granted.
but
And
We
yeah,
had, like that
Duly-
news post
duly,
where it had
easily
he had
credited.
the ram over his shoulder. Fucking dude's packing out a ram out of the forest. Fucker just went and shot one. Like, fuck, let's go.
yeah, that's funny.
You want to head over to the
I
next
don't know.
topic?
What are you guys expecting from this? Are you guys expecting to go in and hand it to them in the preseason the same way we did with them, the Niners? So after we practice with them,
Pretty
learned them, do you think we're going to kind of come in there with the same mentality? Do you
I
think,
think so.
Aiden? Do you think Aiden gels with the players more for touchdowns?
I would think so. I
What do
mean,
you
if
think?
the more
I
he
think the
practices with the
offense
ones,
will
and-
stay with the mentality.
Okay.
Defense, I think the defense might like have more struggles compared to the last game, and that's like an understatement. Like if comparing with like how great defense was
Yeah,
against the
quarterback,
Niners,
yeah.
so it's not that bad of a statement I'm making. So obviously,
So
what
you
I'm
think
saying
the
is that the
defense is
Rams
gonna
are going
be
to score points.
under?
I was-
You
I
said
was
that
just
you
saying,
think
like-
the defense will be under?
Not
Yeah, I'm
under,
saying the
but like,
defense-
like I think the Rams compared to the Niners preseason offense, I think they're going to score points basically.
Oh, so you're saying that they're going to put up more points on us, what you're saying?
Yeah.
What do you think they're going to put up?
If I could say at least, like, I can expect like at least 2 touchdowns, but I still think our offense is going to go crazy.
What do you think? What if you were picking your score right now, what would you be at?
17-29, 17-29, yeah.
I was thinking 17, 24, or 27, so somewhere right there.
I
Yeah,
was
that's
going to
kinda
say
where I am.
31-17 or something.
Yeah, I think 17, 24, 27, somewhere in there. 31 is a good one. I mean, we're all right around the same area offensively. Defense, we're all pretty much on the same exact score.
Yeah, I just think they're going to get at least an extra couple more touchdowns. Because I think even if Shelley doesn't give up that touchdown last game, the Niners probably would have gotten at least 3 points.
They would have
would've
got a
got-
field goal for sure, unless that dude shanks
Yeah.
that fucker at the fucking 5-yard line. I mean, boy, he would have probably been cut right there.
Yeah, because that one, if they didn't get the touchdown, it would have been 4th down. Then they kicked the field goal, I reckon, and get the
Man,
three.
when it was like the second half, I had a weird feeling they were going to start scoring just because of that one player, the Azizi Hearn, and I'm like,
Yeah,
I felt
don't
so
know
bad
what
because
they
I'm
did.
like, man, you're going to get cut today.
Yeah, I don't like Azizi the quarter.
Man,
Shit, in the game, I thought he was gonna get cut, bro. As bad as that
I
guy
thought he was
was
going to
playing
cut, get
off.
mid, like right after that drive
I
was
feel
over.
sorry for him
McDaniels is going to
because-
be like, all right, you're cut, get out of here.
Because he is really young, like he's still a kid, like he's a UDFA, so I do feel sorry
Yeah.
for him a little bit.
It was
But
just really bad.
Don't be
that-
surprised if
it was
they
really
see
bad
some-
that Sam Darnold was just targeting him the entire time.
Yeah, I feel bad about that. But I'm just saying, like, don't be surprised if he improves in camp or something, that they might keep him in the practice squad. But other than that, he's a cut casualty.
Yeah, because the problem with him is he plays off too far. He's trying to protect
Yeah.
himself so a guy can't get the big play on him. He's afraid to play on top of a guy because he'll probably give up the play. But this is what he's not understanding. When you're playing 5 yards off and you're already 10 yards out, you're damn near guaranteeing a first down every single time a guy catches the ball, like literally. So, like I
Yeah,
said,
it's
I
like he
think
was
that's
playing cover 3 almost. It's like he was setting up for cover 3, if you know what I mean.
yeah, I just didn't like how he plays off the ball. Like the way
Yeah.
he plays off his players shit, like he's not good enough to make up that. So I don't even know why
Yeah.
he was playing
It looks like
that to
he
begin with.
he knew that he would probably get burnt too easy because I mean that one play where Sam Darnold like threw like what a 30-40 yard pass, like he got burnt by the receiver.
Oh hell yeah, he did.
So he's
Yeah.
probably like super cautious because he just knows that he's just gonna get burnt if he tries to go head to head.
I would like to know what his 40 time is. Maybe he doesn't have that get up speed. Like, I don't know if he runs a 4.4 or what.
I don't know. The other guy that's kind of making me kind of trip out is that Wilkerson dude, man, because I never really thought much of him, and then now we're watching Aiden literally just showcase that dude pretty much the whole entire game, you know?
I mean, hey, you can say the same about Fotheringham. Like none of us were thinking about him, and the next thing we know, he was
was
leading
both of them,
the
actually.
receiving room.
I actually spoke on Wilkerson and Fotheringham. Wilkerson way earlier, but Fotheringham about 2 days before the match.
Like Fotheringham
Yeah,
out
I
of
wouldn't have thought.
nowhere.
I would not have thought at any point that Fotheringham was going to come out and do what he did. Wasn't even embedded, even if I was
I
told
didn't
it.
expect it to be. Yeah, to be honest, I didn't expect it to be that good. Like 71 yards and 5 catches, but I did expect him to like try and show up in preseason to get a spot. I just didn't expect it to be in the first game out.
Yeah, he outplayed Hollister.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Hollister was, I think, like tight end 4 or tight end.
Something like
Like he
that.
was battling for tight end 3, and the next thing we know, Fotheringham. Like if Fotheringham keeps up this momentum, he could be attempting to battle tight end 3.
Yeah, I agree, and that's pretty much what I
Probably
said
like,
2
hey,
days
I'm
before the
tight
match.
end 3. Horsted is on the fucking practice squad.
Yeah, I agree. That's what I see happening at the moment. That's our chances in the next 2 preseason games with camp.
Yeah,
But,
I mean, him and Aiden have a connection, and
Yeah, because
that's the thing I
Aiden
keep
kept
trying to
targeting
say
him.
is, man, like, the thing people are not paying attention to is Aiden played that game with backups like that, bro. Like, it's hard enough to
Yeah,
get
fact.
backups to catch the ball or make good plays or production like that. He did that with backups, man. So that's all I'm saying is, like, they're just looking past all that shit. He didn't have Devontae. He didn't have Renfro. He didn't have anybody out there, dude. So
One thing I do remember, I heavily noticed Aiden's touchdown pass, the one to Keelan Cole. That was, I think, almost the exact same play where I forgot which game it was. I think it was against the Texans, where it was like at the goal line and they had Adams at wide, but when the play like happened, Carr just slinged it right to Adams, and Adams like only went like a couple yards, and then it was like a score. That's what I thought of during the Aiden to Keelan Cole touchdown.
the thing I thought of is, man, Aiden got some fucking accuracy because that was an inside-outside pass, and he fucking dotted the shit out of him on that outside move, dude. And that's a tough fucking throw to make, dude. And Aiden still dotted him.
One thing I
Speaking
thought
of,
was how
the
hard Aiden, like, how quickly the ball goes. Even though Aiden, he doesn't look like he's throwing the ball that hard, but that ball is going lightning speed.
Yeah, speaking of like laser shots though, that one to Cole Fotheringham on the outside, like for 21 yards, was like a laser. It was a dart.
Hey,
Yeah,
giving
street
Fotheringham credit, Fotheringham was reaching for some of those passes.
Yeah, a couple he was doing like a high pass or whatever you want to call it, but there was one that he did for like 21 yards. That thing went like straight to his chest. It was about 21 yards upfield. And it was kind of like when the tight end runs like a vertical up, but then they cut left towards the sideline.
Yeah, I remember Fotheringham had to adjust himself for that one.
Yeah, it was a little bit maybe early or something, but it was still good. Like it was still very much catchable ball, obviously. But because I think he was leading Fotheringham to the left, and maybe he released it a second too soon or something, but nothing serious. Like it was still like a, very good ball.
Like I said, I'm stoked to see how this game is going to go down against the Rams. So it's only going to show where our players are developing. Are they going up like going high then low, high low? Like where are they? Are they at a steady consistency? That's kind of where I want to see. Like, are we
Most
in
of
highs
all,
and lows, or are we going to be able to hold the line?
yeah, most of all, I want to see. Obviously the defense, kind of defense, have like a similar. I don't expect them to have the same because that was a heaps good game, but if they can have a similar, like a decent defensive, like only giving up like say maximum of 21. I want to see more than 3 touchdowns, say 17 to 21 points.
Yeah,
And
with
then
the
if the
defense,
offense,
like I especially want to see if the linebackers can stay consistent. And
yeah,
then with the
exactly.
secondary, I still want to see like who we can pick apart, like who's obviously making the team, who's probably getting cut,
Yeah,
depending who
I
they
want to see more
start with.
Jacorian and Duke and that, so we can kind of figure out what the depth's going to be. But then also on offense, I just want to, I want to see guys like Cole Fotheringham, see if they can have a repeat performance. Like, see if
Yeah,
they can battle for that like the depth spots and stuff. Because I'll be keeping more of an eye on the depth spots because you kind of already know who the starters are going to be.
yeah, because
Even most of the second stringers, you know who they are. But it's the third string is down,
here
then you're
was
not sure about.
the starters for like the defense during the 49ers preseason game. For the defensive line, it was Coots, John Jenkins, Byron Young, and Jordan Willis. And then for linebackers, it was Masterson and Burney. And then cornerbacks, it was Bennett, Shelley, and Robertson. Safety, it was Teamer and Johnson. And then for the offense, it was obviously O'Connell, Zeus. Then wide receivers, it was Dorsett, Cole, and Tucker. Hollister was a starter for the tight end. Left side, it was Heron and Parham. Grasu was the center. On the right side, it was Rotten and Illuminor.
Yeah, it means Illuminor's battling for that right tackle spot for sure. But also, I wanted to say with the underrated thing that we're talking about, I guess a really underrated player at the moment that I underrated totally was fucking Roderick Teamer. Like he looked.
I know he's gonna make the squad.
Yeah, I reckon he's gonna be like the 4th or 5th safety. He'll probably keep 5.
He's gonna be a special teams player.
Yeah, it's gonna be special teams at safety. Like he'll probably be like the. Yeah, exactly. He'll be the 5th safety on the depth chart, but he'll mostly play special teams.
I wonder if he knocks Johnson off the.
Well, I think he might. I mean, Johnson did have that third. There was a stop that Johnson got. I think it was in the start of the game where he got a good stop when Jacorian was covering his guy, and they tried to throw it towards Johnson, and Johnson got the stop.
Yeah.
So he looked.
And that one play, like I think this happened 2 to 3 times that I really didn't like because it was just giving me like horrible flashbacks where, like the ball's just going down the middle. And then there's 3 defenders and 1 receiver's in between all 3 of them. And that receiver catches it. And like you say it out loud, like, how the heck are there 3 of you? And he still gets the ball.
Yeah, they got to tidy that up. I saw the same thing. Like outside looked pretty good, but it's just the middle that looked more like it needed a bit of work on defending the middle of the field. It was decent. It was better than what it's been in previous years, but there were moments, like you said, where it was like flashbacks. So I hope that's something they can tidy up in this game.
Yeah, it's making me. I like it how they changed the rule where you don't have to like cut your players to like fit the 53-man roster until like after the final preseason game because this is making everything like very difficult to like. It's getting more and more difficult to like see who you would cut and who would you not, considering like random people are just showing up out of nowhere, and then people who we thought should be showing up are like going down in the depth chart randomly. So it's like it's like a stock market chart.
Yeah, like Duke Kelly's going down, whereas Roger Team is coming up, kind of deal. Because I expected Duke Shelley to at least be the 4th corner on the depth chart, but at the moment he might be fighting for his spot.
He very well could be, for sure.
Because I had obviously you got Marcus Peters, Jacorian, and Hobbs as your top 3, and then it was like, who's going to be 4-5 or 4-5-6? And I had Duke Shelley penciled in at 4 until like last week, and it was like some of these other guys are looking pretty good.
Faison being injured, they still had Faison as the 4th corner.
Exactly. And then you got a Meek too, which is probably the fifth guy. So then that means Shelley's battling with the Meek, or battling, or at least if we keep six, he's battling for that sixth spot. Which that's a bit crazy when you think about it. That we just got Shelley from the Vikings, where he had a good season, and now he's battling to be the fifth or sixth corner on
Yeah,
the depth
he
chart.
got
Like,
all
that's
this
crazy.
hype where even
Yeah.
Vikings fans were frustrated that he came to our team, and now it's like now he's like battling for the bottom spots available in the roster.
Yeah, which shows you the depth we got this year.
Which is something I
Like-
really like. I really like it if I hear news like this where it's like not an easy like, okay, here you go, you have the spot. Like I like it to where like we don't even know who like the starting right tackle would be. Like sure, like we would think it's Illuminor, but then out of nowhere we got Munford battling it, and then now we got Wagner after 50
Wagner's good.
snaps didn't allow a single pressure. Like sure, you can say it's twos and threes, but after 50 snaps, not a single pressure. And then you look at his film, and he's just dominating anyone that they put.
That's why I said
Yeah, I
that
wanna
guy,
see,
he's going to be somebody people need to watch out for, that's for sure. Because his shit's going to show up, man.
I wish we would play some starters maybe in game 3, just because I would love to see Wagner go up against like a starter, like a starting defensive end, just to see
Fuck, I hope we
how he
do.
handles it. Yeah. I mean, then again, they could be having him do it in joint practice, you know what I mean? He might be going up against guys in joint practice from the Rams.
I mean, hey, it would be great if Cowboys had some of their starters, because I know they got really good defensive linemen.
Exactly. I wouldn't mind seeing Wagner go up against someone like Michael Parsons. That'd be a good test.
I mean, he went against Max, dude, and fucking...
Even, yeah, remember a long time ago, I
he couldn't get off
said
of
that Max Crosby said that he couldn't even get past him.
Yeah.
Well, that's saying a lot then, if that's the case.
And
Max is
everyone was
saying that,
brushing
then,
that
yeah.
off like, oh, that's just drills or something like that. Now, all of a sudden, everyone's like, oh, my God, Wagner. And now I'm over here like, yeah, remember when Max said that and none of you cared and wanted to – oh, God, I hate Raider fans. The only people that make me hate my team are people that support this team. That's the ironic part.
That's the sad. That's the love-hate right there, man. I love my woman. The only person that can make me hate her is her. It's like straight up.
Facts.
I don't know, man. We're gonna pop off here, dude. I gotta get up hell early at 4 o'clock. So
Yeah, I got to head to work in a little bit.
outside of that, man, we'll do the depth chart on Friday. If Ozzy's able to be up on there, we'll just make that the whole headline of the show. So that's pretty much what we'll do the whole from start to finish. Just depends if he can be on. I don't know if he can or not. So we'll figure that out as we get closer. If not, like I always say, man, I appreciate everybody that stops by. I appreciate everybody in the chat, dude. Hopefully we'll have more information to talk on our team before this weekend. And like I said, we got a few more days to go in camp. We're going to get a few more practice. So like I said, we got a lot of ways to go. We'll get more of, I want to see where Tyree is, dude. I mean, I don't want to see him play, but I want to see him get out there which he was already out there hitting the sled, everything like that. So I think, like I said, that's pretty good news. And then, like I said,
it's pretty good news if Tyree is coming back like before the second preseason game. Like that's pretty good news.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And I find it freaking comical that there were so many people like doubting the pick and going, "Oh, we picked an injured player." Make them get there.
Hey, even if he doesn't play until the first week in the season, will be fine, So
I even said I don't give a shit if he doesn't play until after the bye week. Like, that's how much I don't care. Like, because we've got Chandler Jones, we've got Malcolm Kuntz and other guys, and we've got depth this year at defensive end, so he doesn't need to be rushed back.
That is very true.
I mean, that's the one thing I like about this regime is how careful they are with injuries.
Yeah, exactly, and that's what I like, because I'd rather take his time now than re-aggravate the injury. You know what I mean?
Yeah, hell yeah.
Quite frankly, we don't need Wilson to start until next year, like technically. Because I reckon, I'm going to say it now. I reckon they move on from Chandler. Unless Chandler has like a really, really big season this year, they're probably going to
10
move on
sacks.
from next off if
Gets
yeah,
10
10
plus
sacks or
sacks.
more. Yeah, if he has 10 plus sacks, they'll keep him. But if he has another year like last year, they're going to move on from him next year.
Yeah,
Guarantee
because
it.
they can in
Yeah,
the contract.
Yep, 3.6 million dead cap and 17 million cap saving. They're definitely going to do
Yeah.
it, especially if Wilson's coming along well enough and stuff, and they got the depth.
I appreciate you, Clark, man. Appreciate it, man. But yeah, I agree too because they can cut him. I've said that numerous times. I even debated dudes about that recently, about the fact that that he was not brought here to start this year. He wasn't brought here to go and start day one. He's just an added asset if he's ready to start in that time. And then being the injury that he bears on his foot, his is a different deal. He popped his piece out from stepping on it, so that can be a problem that can go forward if he keeps doing the same thing. So you wouldn't want him to rush out and get back on the field that fast. You'd want him to take the time to where he can get back under himself, feel good about it, because you got to remember he's an edge player. He's going to be coming off that edge sideways, dude,
Yep.
being on the corner of his feet like that all the time. So that's something you want to make sure is healed 150% to begin with.
Yeah, facts. And not only that, a lot of people that when they're hating on the pick, it's like, dude, if he didn't have the injury, we wouldn't have even gotten him. I guarantee he would have went top 5.
Yeah.
Like he would have went top 5. He wouldn't have
Even
been
with
there
the
at 7.
injury, he was still projected as top 5.
Exactly. So if he wasn't injured, he definitely would have gone to one of the other teams above us, for sure. Because it was him and the two guys that they had like edge rusher or outside linebacker type. It was him and what's his name from Alabama,
Anderson.
Anderson. Yeah. So him and Anderson were like the top 2 guys.
Yep. And they had Tyree graded higher in the nation off the edge. They had him graded over Will Anderson coming off the edge in the pure edge rushing position. So
Exactly. And not only that, I like Wilson's versatility to move inside as well when it, like in certain like NASCAR package type deal.
yep, that is very true.
Yeah, so that's why I've said it since like I wanted him like even before, remember back in the day when that I think it was ESPN or someone put out a thing about Wilson going to the Raiders. That was a very first. Yeah, I meant.
Oh, are you
that?
saying like you
Way
ain't
back.
saying Russell Wilson, right?
No. I'm saying like Tyree Wilson. Remember back then?
Okay,
Before the draft, they put out that someone put out that I think it was ESPN or whatever put out that thing about Wilson going to the Raiders. But literally about a week, I think it was a week before that, I was already.
Oh, Tyree Wilson said himself that he wanted to get drafted by anyone to be the Raiders. Even
Dude,
Max
I
said
had
that.
articles that said that if him, Carter, and Gonzalez was on the board at the same time, I said that the Raiders would take Tyree over all of them. So,
Facts.
like I said, Tyree's a good player, man, and people find out. It's just like I said, you're gonna want to make sure that injury heals up all the way, dude, like all the way. Him getting out there hitting the sled, getting conditioned, shit like that, that's fine. I have no issue with that, dude. Just make sure that when you're about to go out there and start pushing on the edge against another player, that shit's ready to go, because I broke my 3 toes in my right foot about a year ago, a little over a year, maybe almost 2 years ago. It's taken almost 2 years for them to heal, period. You know what I mean? And I know I can't go out and do. I didn't have no surgery done to my foot, but what I'm saying is, like, I know if I was to even push down on it like I usually do, it'd break that fucker again instantly, you know. So, like I say, he's got a lot going. But outside of that, man, like I said, I think he'll be pretty good when he gets everything healed up, ready to go. Like I said, he's probably ready right now. So just, obviously got to get conditioned. But
I mean, it's kind of why I like it, how the regime is precautious. Like, he passed his physical before training camp, yet the regime was still like, hey, we're going to still ease you into it.
yeah.
Facts.
All right, man. We're gonna hop off, Rick, and I appreciate everybody coming on here, man. Like I said, we'll push for Friday to do the depth chart as long as Ozzy can be on there because it's his depth chart. So outside of that, I hope everybody has a safe, night. Stay safe. Don't drink and drive. I've always say, fucking call an Uber, sleep it off, dude. It ain't gonna kill you. It's probably gonna kill someone else. So outside of that, I always say stay safe and appreciate all of you. You guys have anything you want to say before we bounce?
Just everyone
Catch
have
you
a good
guys later.
night.
Have a
Salute
good
to everyone
one.
in the chat. Salute to all the viewers. Salute to the people in the panel who was here. Just make sure, if you want, make sure you join our Discord. We got a great community that we're trying to build there, trying to build unique, solid Raider community. One thing I want to say, though, is if you're going to get annoyed hearing Raider news, then sorry, I guess you're not a Raider fan.
I know. That was the funniest shit. That dude, are you saying that guy in the Discord?
Yeah.
Yeah, that shit was funny as fuck.
And then when he told
me,
get a roll or something, I'm like, I wanted to laugh. I'm like, dude, I'm co-owner of this shit. You
damn right. Yeah, I said, I told him, man, you don't like it, you can either put it on fucking silence or notifications or leave. He was like, all right, peace. Omar came in there. He said, I don't know how the hell a guy getting pissed off man getting Raider news, motherfucker. Like,
that's what I said. I'm like,
imagine
getting mad hearing Raider news.
Yeah, that shit was funny as fuck.
Yeah, that was weird. Anyway, like that's the one thing that you should know if you join our Discord. You're gonna get Raider news. That's kind of what we're doing, where we have an open source. We don't gatekeep our sources or anything like other content people, and we make sure everything's legitimate. Make sure not everything is like, based on like I'll pay you to watch me or I'll pay a non-existent person to be with me and stuff like that. And then make sure you follow Death Star Report Instagram, and then make sure you follow my Instagram, Raider Stats. It's just Raider.stats on Instagram. We got a great community, great media that we're trying to build up a solid thing going on where we make our own stuff, make our own things, and make sure it's legitimate and reliable enough.
Yeah,
So,
unlike some other people we won't name.
Yeah, we won't name, but they're kind of getting a long-term actions have consequences situation going on. But yeah, that's all I have to say.
You got anything you want to say? Oh, he bounced?
Yeah, he said his piece and then he bounced.
All right, dude. Hey, I appreciate all of you guys, man. I'm going to play this and I'm going to bounce too, man. I got to get up hell early and I'm already tired. Outside of that, I appreciate you, Sergio, everybody in the chat, all the mods, all the people in the chat, everybody on the panel, man. I hope you guys have a safe night. Stay safe, man. Raider Nation for life. See you on Friday, man. Have a great night.
The king and his men stole the queen from her bed,
Touchdown!
bound her in her bone.
Chandler Jones takes it
The seas be ours, and by the powers